Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And this is a very special episode once again, isn't it, Jack?
It is indeed, because we've been joined by the guys from the Zack Attack podcast. Did I get that right?
You did. Yeah.
Yes. Who've had Liam guest on their show.
Yeah.
Joey and Joe.
What's up? How's it going?
Hi, guys.
Joe too.
And I'm Joey.
And yeah, I've been on their show to talk about Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure.
Yeah, we had Liam on to talk about a movie that didn't have Zac Efron in it, so that was...
Yeah, but I mean...
It was a weird decision.
My favourite thing is just how we've all met, really.
Have you not told the story here yet?
Let's remind people, because I'm pretty sure we did go over it, because Jack was fascinated by one aspect of it. But I feel like if anyone missed that episode, let's remind them of how you guys found me.
So, on our show, Zack Attack, the Zac Efron podcast, we have now seen, as of this recording, we've now seen every movie that Zac Efron's done. We also did a clip show, so we've seen every TV appearance too. So we've really, exhausted, we've tapped the well.
We watched fucking, 3 seasons of Summerland or 2 seasons of Summerland?
26 hours, yes.
Yeah.
And so as we were going through some of Zach's earlier... what do you call him? You call him Zephron, right? You call him Zephron? Is that what you're...
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so now we're on a British podcast. We'll call him Zephron. We'll make you happy.
Thanks.
When we were going through Zephron's earlier work, we got to this movie called Miracle Run. No. The Derby Stallion, which they're basically the same movie.
The Derby Stallion.
And the Derby Stallion... okay. As the show has gone on, we've added more and more games, and eventually we want to make the podcast 100% games and not even talk about the movie and just do mailbag and do different games or whatever. And so one of the games we do is we go on Letterboxd, and we see how many people have watched the movie, we look for reviews of it, we just sort of mess around on there.
I guess how many people have seen it, right? I guess how many people rated it, and how many people have it in their top 10 or top 4, whatever.
And so we got to the Derby Stallion, and it was only seen by 130 people, and this is a website where we always use for reference sake, Mad Max Fury Road has been logged by 150,000 people. So for just 130 to see a single movie that we just spent an hour talking about, that's not very many people. And more importantly than that, there was only one single review of the Derby Stallion, and that was by Mr. Liam Underwood.
Yeah. Where, I didn't hate the movie, but I definitely had issues with its horses that it featured in it.
And
yeah, that was right. You had the horse story. I remember now.
Yeah, I don't like horses.
So we read the review live on air, and Joe was trying to decipher if Liam was straight or gay, if this horse story with his this girl in the story was real or if it was a ruse. And by the end of the review, we were like, one thing is for sure: this guy we don't know loves Zac Efron the way that we love Zac Efron. As two straight white guys from America. And we went on Twitter, and I tweeted at Liam, and I don't know, within an hour, he's like, yes, I'll be on your show. And I do want to give him credit and thank you. We've messaged 3 or 4 actresses from Summerland, including ones who have, fewer followers than, my friends. And we also messaged this girl, also from the UK, Zephron Lover 19, who wrote the fan fiction smutty sequel to Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, and none of them responded.
It was so
Did they
good.
not? I'm disappointed that Zephron Lover 19 didn't respond.
I really thought
Rach didn't care.
So as we're recording this, we have the voting for the Zeffies is now open. So Liam, I don't know if you voted yet. I know you were sort of being a little bit critical of some of our selections.
I'm disappointed basically.
But when
I wanted, before I voted, I wanted to discuss this with you.
Okay, that's fair. But when we get to the 2 categories that Sharpay 2 is eligible for, we're going to once again at Zephron Lover 19 on Twitter, and hopefully she responds. So I'm still holding out hope that she will see this and either be embarrassed or love the fact that, we're sharing her work with a small audience.
She's a huge part of my life right now. I've converted a lot of my social media names to Zephron Lover 19.
It's true.
I really... she doesn't know how much she means to me, and I just want to let her know.
I mean, I tried reading her fan fiction, and I'll be honest, it's not an easy read.
It's not.
Because there's not enough
It's not.
smut in it to make it worth
True.
reading.
Oh no, there's no smut for the first 14 chapters.
Yeah, and it's a real painful, and when you do get finally you get to the smut, it's not worth it.
No. There's no penetration. Yeah, we talked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Penetration. No, there really isn't. She just quadruple spaces the penetration, and you just go like from like them like making out and Sharpay being a virgin to like that was great. His dick was huge, and then that was it. Like
she misses the best bit.
yeah. She just totally skipped it.
Although,
That's terrible.
And Liam might know this depending on if he's as encyclopedic about Zac Efron movies as we are. In the movie Me and Orson Welles, because it's set in the 30s or the 40s or whatever, there is the term that we use for having sex on the show is now quadruple space, because it's about this like literary term where they like lead you up to the sex and then just you like hit enter 4 times, then like you leave it to the imagination. So when we got quadruple spaced by Zephyr on Lover 19, we're like, this kind of is perfect for the show that we've made.
This is the most appropriate way she could have done it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be amazing if you ever get her on,
God.
and you like just go at her with all these theories. You're like, yeah, that was the best, and she's just like, I just wanted to write about Zac Efron having sex.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. We gave her we did a really fair review. We gave her a lot of credit.
Yep.
She used some great literary techniques, some terrible grammar, and it just works.
Yep.
So.
And then also we've just got Jack, who has to put up with me talking about Zac Efron, as much as possible. Like wherever I can naturally slip it into the podcast, basically.
Yeah, see, there's like this whole weird thing where for years I've assumed that Liam is quite weird, and now in this situation where I'm the one that is the odd one out, I don't know anymore. Maybe I'm just odd in that I don't religiously watch all of Zac Efron's
There are
films.
dozens
No,
of
I
us,
can
Jack.
promise it's me.
There are dozens of us.
There has to be like 6 or 7 of us, dude. Just wait.
So later on in the show, we're going to be talking about We Are Your Friends, because it made sense for us to do a Zac Efron movie. But before we get to that, it's time for catching up with Jack and Liam and Joe and Joey. So who's done anything interesting this last week?
Nothing. I did absolutely nothing. I'm just preparing.
Hey, I visited you last weekend. That's something interesting.
Well, that's not that
That
interesting.
doesn't happen often, though.
Yeah, no, it doesn't happen often. Joey came here. We've been watching a lot of American football.
Okay.
I've been watching a lot of American
Nice.
football because the season just started. And what else? Getting ready for vacation. I'm actually coming to Europe next week and visiting one of my friends from the UK. So that's pretty
Very
cool.
nice. Whereabouts in the UK?
I'm not going to be in the UK. I'm going
Ah.
to Paris, and I'm meeting my buddy from the UK there.
Got
Then
ya.
I'm going to go to Munich for Oktoberfest, and then Barcelona, and then home.
That sounds pretty fun.
Yeah.
And I'll be in Reading right before Halloween. Is Halloween a thing over there?
It is, but not massively.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't do it the same way
Okay.
you guys do.
Makes sense.
Do people dress up?
Rarely.
So it's more like over here you get the trick-or-treating sort of
Okay.
happens.
Okay.
It's mostly
all the
kids.
younger kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And then, people do Halloween parties, but there's not like, people don't sort of go out
I
and
mean,
do that.
last year we had a pretty fun Halloween, didn't we, Jack?
Yeah, we've got places that do like, we had one of those, what do you call it? Like a sort of like a haunted house, but horrifying.
But horrifying how?
Well,
It was just terrifying. I've
okay.
discovered... So,
Yeah, go on.
Go on, Liam.
It's called Shocktoberfest, and it's essentially a farm that for Halloween they convert into like a load of different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scary
yeah, we have a lot of
attractions.
these.
Like haunted
Yeah.
hayrides and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We don't have many of those. It seems to be like a recent thing that we've probably started just stealing from you guys.
Okay.
And
yeah.
we went to our first one last year and we discovered a lot of things. One of them being that my eyes don't work very well in dim light. So,
Liam literally couldn't see anything.
like, it's really off-putting, okay? So there was one called the Chop Shop where they're all like car mechanics and inbred and stuff. And it really breaks the immersion when you can't see too good. You accidentally walk into a car and one of the actresses there goes from, "Oh, I'm going to kill you," to, "Mind yourself, watch out."
So British.
Yeah, it just really was like, okay, yeah, not quite as scary as it could have been. But then we got chased by people with chainsaws.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
always
and
fun.
I discovered that I have a fear of people with chainsaws that I didn't know I had.
You shrieked.
Yeah, I was genuinely terrified.
Yeah. And the other thing, so bear in mind, I can't see. I was with my girlfriend and Jack. They both see the chainsaws, shriek and run away, and I'm just left there like, why are we running?
From Jane.
I mean, it's you were definitely the sort of chosen sacrifice. Like in every horror film, there's that one person that gets sacrificed to the creatures, and you were that, Liam. And I'm
Thanks.
sorry, but That's the way it should be.
Appreciated.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. It makes sense to me. First of all, get rid of the blind one. That's
Exactly.
step number one.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I'm just a
you're gonna kill
liability.
that guy off first. Yeah.
So I kind of want to do it again this year, but I need to get my eyes fixed first, and I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to fix your eyes in a month.
No.
Science has come a long way. Maybe it's possible.
Well, it might just be like a prescription in my glasses, because apparently, like, night blindness, or whatever it's supposed to be properly called, can be like a part of nearsightedness, which I have. So it might just be like a prescription update.
It feels like this is something you should resolve not just for Halloween, but for the other nights of the year too.
Oh yeah, so like I had to drive to my parents last week at night, and that was just terrifying.
God damn.
It's probably not legal for you to drive in the dark, Liam, if you can't see.
I'll be honest, I had to do a roundabout, and I know that I swerved across 3 lanes.
Oh my god.
So yeah,
Oh,
I do
that's
need to get this
terrible.
fixed.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, we've had summer, so I haven't noticed the dark as much because it's been less of it. That's my logic.
Fair.
That sentence, Liam, was not great.
What do you mean?
It was perfect. I really liked it, actually. I was like, that is so good. If this was a Zephron movie, I would have wrote that down as like one of the best quotes of the movie.
So Jack, have you been up to much this week?
No, not
Well, that's
not
bullshit,
really.
because I know that you have.
Yeah, but I assumed we were going to talk about that in the cinema thing.
All
Or
right,
is there more?
all right. Sit yourself down. Let me take over, and then you'll figure
I'm
out when
sitting
to
down.
jump in. So,
Okay.
a couple of weeks ago, I went and did some stunt driving. That was like a Christmas present that I
Ooh.
finally cashed in.
Oh, that's really cool.
It was a lot of fun.
That is cool.
I'll be honest, I wasn't very good at it.
Did they do it at night?
Thankfully, no. The thing is, like, I'm a big fan of the Fast and Furious films, and there's a part
Are
of me that
you?
is- yeah.
Oh.
I love
That's so
them.
interesting.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very. Wait, should we, sorry to interrupt, but should we announce,
I think we could do it. Why not? Because nobody's
for
gonna listen
it.
to this either.
yeah, none of our fans are listening to this, so in December, because Zack Attack is ending, at least phase 1, because we've seen everything.
Sorry to
We're going
interrupt
to do
your
the
story
award show.
first. Sorry to interrupt your story. But
No, it's fine.
But no,
Gives
but
the
this
perfect segue.
this is exciting. This is an exclusive. This is exclusive for Nerd on Nerd.
This is breaking news.
Yeah, breaking
Yeah.
news, exclusive. We haven't said this on our podcast yet. We haven't mentioned
No.
it. We're not going to for a little
We're not
bit.
gonna.
So,
this
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
gonna be our news on our podcast until October 15th. So you're gonna beat us by like a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa.
So Zack Attack is ending. We were gonna replace it just with one podcast following one actor, and then Joe and I were like, well, what about this other actor? And we're like, oh, he's great too. So we're gonna do both of those. But then the exciting thing, what you just said, we are also starting in December a podcast called Too Fast, Too Forever. And it's going to be a monthly podcast where once a month we watch a movie in the series and talk about it. And then when we get to the end, we're just going to start right back at the beginning. So,
Perfect.
Oh.
and just
We're
forever.
just gonna watch Fast and the Furious forever, man.
I like it. That's
And
good.
so,
Yes.
the first run through the first, 8 movies, because I don't think another one will be out by the time we get to that point, but when we go through the first 8 movies, we're going to do this all on our own. But then starting with the second round, we want guests. So the fact that you love these movies, you are absolutely coming on and talking about whichever one or whichever ones you want, because we're going to need things to talk
gonna
about
do it
outside
forever.
perspectives.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it forever. So
Happy to. Have you heard? So, just to also sort of slightly sidetrack, have you heard the latest beef between The Rock and is it Tyrese Gibson? Is that the guy?
No.
yeah, he's in them.
But yeah, I mean, he's in them. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
don't
so-
know.
know beef.
Right. Yeah. Oh, they've been beefing on Instagram or some shit lately. Well, I mean, The Rock's been kind of keeping out of it because he's a busy guy.
Right.
But Tyrese
Highest
was
paid actor in the world, or something stupid like that.
Yeah, Tyrese was leaving comments on his Instagram post being like, sorry to hit you up on Instagram, but you're not responding to my texts, and this seems better than emailing you. Honestly, it's like a spurned girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he's like, the Fast and Furious family, we're forever, we're together. If you go ahead with the Hobbs solo movie, that's going to ruin everything. And this is basically the gist of like this massive message he left. That as far as I'm aware, The Rock hasn't responded to yet. But it sounds like he's really bitter and jealous that The Rock, who, let's be honest, has an amazing character in this franchise,
Yes.
Yep.
is about to spin off into. I think there were talks that they were going to be like a a Hobbs and Jason Statham. I can't
Yep.
remember his character's
Yeah,
name.
yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's what he's kind of a bit like pissy about.
Why is he pissy about it? Because he could just be a cameo in that movie. You
Right.
dumb fuck. Like you could just go
Exactly.
in.
Yeah.
Or maybe just, keep this like off of the fucking internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is weird to do it over Instagram.
Well,
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't come out of that looking good.
No.
I like when when Fate of the Furious came out and there were news reports that like Vin Diesel and The Rock weren't getting along because Vin Diesel was
Yeah.
also upset about the spin-off, and that was like actual news, like Variety and Deadline and Hollywood Reporter and all these like actual places reported that. Now it trickled down to Tyrese, I guess, and like it's just not reported. Like nobody cares now that it's not Vin
No.
Diesel beefing.
Well,
Did
that's
you
the,
guys see? Good.
No, go ahead.
Oh, did you guys see the Dr. Dre Jimmy Iovine thing? Because Tyrese was the one that blew up Dr. Dre's
Oh,
spot
yeah.
on fucking Instagram with the Beats deal too. So he's just fucking around all over the place.
Well, I kind of feel like what else has he really got like going for him besides this franchise?
Well,
Yeah, but he's just like dropping random gossip and just like ruining people's lives all over the place.
I can tell you that when
Yeah.
I saw Furious 7 at South by Southwest, it was like a world premiere sort of thing, and he came out and basically ushered everyone else off stage and just sweet-talked the entire audience, and every woman in that room fell in love with him even more than they already were. So, like, he's got a lot going on. I just don't know what, constructively he has going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, going back to me being a little stunt driver.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, because I love these movies, and every time I come out of seeing them, I'm like, oh, that was so much fun. It just looks like a fun thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
My girlfriend has decided to give me like a little stunt driving course. It was supposed to be, you do 2.5 hours of a lesson, but it's like
wow.
a group thing, and they say
Okay,
like
cool.
you're supposed to get like 20 to 30 minutes of actual driving time, but they
Yeah.
teach you how to do things like handbrake turns, J turns, drifting. Like spinning into like a parking space, all this sort of shit.
Oh, damn.
When I show up, there's no one else in this group, so it's just me. And they're like, well, instead of doing like 2.5 hours, why don't we just do like a 1 hour intensive, like one-to-one training session, essentially.
That's cool.
And you said, no, we've paid for 2.5 hours. You're teaching me for 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
right
but
then.
they're like,
That
yeah,
is
but in
what I
that
would
case,
do.
I'm going to have to get you to jump out of the car and wait around for your like 20 minutes in total time. So I was happy to do like an hour of driving, essentially.
That's cool.
It was left-hand drive, which for you guys wouldn't be an issue, but for us over here, that was confusing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. It was like a normal American style car.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And yeah,
Which
at
is
one
reverse
point,
for you. Go ahead. Yeah, I get it.
at one point, he says to me, "You're not very good at listening to instructions, are you?"
That's good.
To which I countered, "I'm listening to them. I'm just not doing them."
What can I ask, Liam? What led to him to say that? Like, what had you done wrong?
He wanted me to stop at a certain point, and I just carried on driving.
Got you right.
But yeah, it was super fun. Like, I was terrible at it. Apparently, like the things that he was teaching me is the sort of like the absolute basics you need to know before you progress.
Yeah.
And the drifting was the hardest because I just kept oversteering and spinning the car out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that seems easy to do.
yeah, but it was just so much fun.
What kind of car were you in?
Oh, it was like a fucking... It wasn't a fancy one. It was almost like a rally car that was purpose-built for just going around this farm track, essentially.
Okay.
But I took all the skin off one of my knuckles because I kept rubbing it against the seat as I was pulling up the handbrake.
Ugh.
Yeah, so that was fun. But otherwise, it was awesome. It was so good.
super
I just
cool.
wish I'd been better at it. Because
In America, we do that too, but just in parking lots full of gravel. It's just totally free. You don't even have to pay for it.
that sounds like fun.
You can just do it.
Yeah, you just go there until the cops show up, and then you say, "I'm sorry, officer. I didn't know I couldn't do that," and you just move along.
So I did that, and then later that week, I went to London with Kat, and we met up with Jack, and we did some stuff that we'll talk about later. But the next day, we went to the Natural
you.
History Museum.
How was it?
Yeah.
There was
good.
a lot there.
I like natural history museums. I like going to them. They're always fun. But then there's like always like a bunch of parts that I hate of natural history museums. Like dinosaurs are cool.
Yeah.
And like
Yep.
those like what are the fucking things called that are in the glass? Who knows what these are called?
Fossils?
Like No. Like when you like look and it's like here's a fucking Neanderthal and like there's his mammoth in the background.
Oh,
you know what this
like
thing is?
the like not panorama, but yeah, it's like the display or whatever.
Like a bigger diorama or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, like a big diorama. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would. I think there's a name for it. It might be diorama. I don't know. But yeah, I like those. But then like some of the other shit, I'm like, I don't care. So yeah.
We walked
Yeah,
through this
there's
huge,
definitely-
like, massive room that just had various rocks in it.
Oh, those are fun though. Every time I go into that one, I always think of Breaking Bad. And I'm like, they're not rocks, Murray. They're minerals.
It was fun. It was such a big room. There was just so many. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
See, that's weird, because I'd have said that was the room you enjoyed the most, Liam, because you just spent most of it walking around being like, I've picked my favourite rock. What one's your favourite rock?
That's how you do
Well-
it. That's the perfect way to do it. I agree.
Yeah, there you go. You got to make favourites, Jack. But yeah, Jack kind of assumed. I wanted to essentially see if we could hire someone to be like a personal guided tour, because I have a lot of questions about this sort of thing.
Okay.
But Jack didn't want to do that, and he decided he was going to lead a tour essentially.
No. That's not what happened.
exactly
Me
what
and
happened.
your girlfriend both were like, we don't want to do a tour. We just want to look round and, see it all ourselves. And then when you then inevitably asked me questions, I was telling you the answers.
You were guessing for some of them.
Yeah.
For
For
most
some
of
of them,
them.
I was.
I'm sure.
To be fair, I like fucking dinosaurs.
Well, hang on. Sorry. Rephrase that, because you just said you like fucking dinosaurs.
I will not rephrase it, Liam. You imagine you get a T-Rex, you pin it down, you just insert yourself into it.
I mean, you don't start with a T-Rex. That's where you're going wrong.
That's an
You've
advanced
got to
level
build up
course.
to it.
Yeah.
Like, you need
All
to
right,
practice
well.
on some raptors first or something. Like you need
Yeah.
I feel like even that's too advanced. You gotta find.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
maybe like a lazy Triceratops.
yeah, sleepy one. Like if
Yeah.
you sneak up on it.
Because you think that...
Yeah, so like
it's-
picture the scene in Jurassic Park where they find that really sick Triceratops,
That's the
and
one.
then instead of them
That's
helping
rape.
it,
That is
what?
dino
I,
rape.
it's technically. I think if you're fucking dinosaurs, I think it's all rape.
Yeah.
I don't
I think
think.
this whole
Can a
premise is
dinosaur consent?
you started out by saying pinning down a T-Rex. Like that's like. I mean, it's all
aggressive.
dino rape. Yeah.
I think if you could pin down a T-Rex, though, it's not rape because that's a big ass dinosaur. So like, if you could pin it down, that's fair game. That's pretty much consent.
You've
to my
like
eyes.
earned it at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jack doesn't want to rephrase that, so as you were, Jack.
Yeah, I love dinosaurs and potentially fucking them, but. So I don't remember what we were talking about, Liam. I will admit I got distracted
answering the questions. You
by
were
the
answering
idea
the
of
questions.
dinosaur sex.
Yeah, you were talking about how you wanted to be like a guide at the Natural History Museum at one point in your
Yeah,
life.
when I was younger, I really when we did work experience. I applied to be a guide at the Natural History Museum because it's like, and for years I wanted to be a paleontologist because I was obsessed with
That's cool.
natural history.
That's really cool.
Right,
I dig
it's
it.
really cool until you've then got to walk around with him, like, piping up about it every 2 minutes.
That didn't happen. You're over exaggerating, Liam.
Okay, the bits I didn't like was, like, I didn't realise that I just don't really like snakes. And I had a
Yeah.
load of snakes.
Yeah, that was weird. You're not a fan of snakes.
No, snakes and spiders, I'm not a fan of them. We avoided the spider bit.
Were they
Yeah,
live
we didn't do
snakes
the
and
insect.
spiders?
No,
just
no.
just
just-
stuffed one.
Yeah.
I always assumed that
did-
everybody in England loves snakes because of Harry Potter, but that's
Oh, that's the other thing we had a huge fucking disagreement on, because you think I'm a Slytherin and I'm definitely not.
Oh god. So I took those quizzes on Pottermore.com so many times, and I
Yep.
finally accepted my fate that I'm a Hufflepuff, even though I don't want to be a Hufflepuff. I'm a Hufflepuff, and there's nothing I can do about it.
See, this is the
never-
thing.
Oh,
I am
I'm
a
a
Hufflepuff.
and I'm proud of it.
I think
Yeah.
we're all Hufflepuffs. I think the four of us are all Hufflepuffs.
fuck that. No way.
The thing with Liam and Slytherin is we walked into currently like one of the stores in England are selling like a bunch of Harry Potter themed clothes. And Liam's girlfriend wanted some socks or something. There was
Yeah.
something that Kat wanted.
Something.
And we went in and they had these shirts that had like the house, like the traits that meant each house.
Yes.
And we were looking at them and I looked at Gryffindor and I was like, well, Liam, you haven't got any of them. Bravery's pretty high up there and courage, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You look at Ravenclaw and you go intelligence, that's neither of us.
Yeah.
And then we got to Hufflepuff and I went friendship, loyalty, and there were two others. And I was like,
kindness.
Liam, you've got like two out of them. You're not kind.
I can be.
Loyalty I'll give you.
Yeah.
Friendship,
Well,
you're my friend.
yeah.
But And then we looked at Slytherin, and, you know, everyone just assumes, oh, Slytherin's evil. But when you actually read what they are, it's like cunning, ambition. And I was like, well, a lot of those match you, Liam. But he's now throwing a big hissy fit because he turns out he's part of the bad house.
I'm not a Slytherin. That's the fact of it.
You just gotta make Slytherin great again.
I feel like that's an impossible task. Like the PR for Slytherin has a very difficult job.
Yeah, their Twitter page is fucked.
Yeah. So yeah, we did London, and basically all we did in London. Well, we kind of rented an apartment for the night, which was nice.
Cool.
And then yeah, we just went to the History Museum.
How long does it take you guys
Nice,
to get into London from wherever you are?
Yeah, for me it's like an hour and a half on the train.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's
For me, it's only like 40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's,
But we
I
were
think-
doing something the night before, and we didn't know like if it would finish too late for us to then get the train back.
Right.
yeah, makes sense. I think I'm about an hour and a half from New York City.
Yeah, and
on
I'm
a
about
train.
45 minutes too, so it's about the same thing. Yep.
Dead
Yeah.
on. Yep.
But yeah, that was my week. Has anyone else been up to anything?
No.
No. Cool.
Well,
And that's catching up.
So does that segment always end with a whimper like that? Just like we ran out of things to talk about?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, good.
okay, good. Yeah,
that's how
perfect.
most of our sections end.
Yeah, this show just sort of, we talk for a while, then eventually we all peter out, and then
Yeah.
someone just goes, I think the show's finished.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Good,
The thing is, if Jack was good at editing, he'd edit out that bit where we're not sure what's going on, so it would sound real smooth
Oh,
and
I
slick.
do sometimes.
Yeah,
I
sometimes.
make it seem like we're better.
Sometimes is the key word there, though, isn't it?
It's a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah. So I went to the cinema, and now it's time for Liam went to the cinema, and here's a spoiler-free review of the things that he saw at the cinema.
Cool.
What did you see, Liam?
Well, Jack, we both saw something, didn't we?
We did, that's true. We went to see, so the day before the Natural History Museum, we went to a special showing of Tommy Wiseau's The Room.
Oh, that's so funny. I just watched this the other day for the first time too. Oh my god, I'm so.
Oh, really?
Oh wait, is this the? Wait, I saw you have a picture with Tommy Wiseau. Was he really
Yes.
there?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm
yeah.
so jealous. I was telling everybody about it. I actually was telling everybody here about that you had a picture with him, and I was so jealous of it.
Honestly, he is exactly as you would imagine him to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's full on, like, he's really weird.
Just
and
like off his face
great.
on coke is how it seems.
Yeah, like 100%. There was this moment where we sat down and I turned to Liam and Kat and I was like, yeah, he's definitely on, like, coke or ecstasy or something.
Really?
And then Kat was like, oh yeah, like he was, gurning. Do you guys know what that is?
Like grinding your teeth?
I don't know if that's... Yeah.
Yeah.
He was sort of doing that a lot. When he wasn't, like, talking, he'd start doing that. And I was like, oh, he's definitely on something.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And like so they had a Q&A before the film as well. So it was Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero were both there answering questions.
Cool.
And so first thing, right, let me go to the beginning. You weren't allowed to get a picture with him unless you purchased some of the merchandise they had with them there. So you
Fair.
couldn't like take your own DVD and get them to sign it. You had to buy it there, which is
Cool.
fair
Yeah.
enough. I respect the hustle.
Yeah.
So I brought like a Blu-ray of The Room because I've only got it on DVD. I brought a T-shirt and a tie, which is just brilliant.
Okay.
Got some pictures with them, and then they do a Q&A where he refuses to come out unless there's 10 people with a question ready.
Yeah.
Seriously. But then, right?
Yeah, that-
the best thing about that is he just seems like he can't wait to get through the questions as quick as possible.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah,
Do
so
you
he'll-
think it's an act, or does he really hate talking about it?
I think he
I
plays
don't
up to
think
it.
it's that he hates it. I felt like it's not that he hates talk. I think he genuinely thinks that he's this incredible personality, and there was this sort of sense of like almost like I'm doing this as a favor to you,
Damn.
and you will take the shit I give you. Because like someone would ask a genuine question, he'd misunderstand the question,
Yeah.
sort of insult them for a minute, and then say next question.
Or like there were definitely times where someone would ask him a question, he clearly wasn't listening. He'd start talking about something completely different, and then he'd go, right, now, say your question, be quick. And
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
I've already said it once. And it's just, it was brilliant. It was like pure just car crash entertainment, but happening
awesome.
live.
Does he
in
take
front
his
of you.
sunglasses off at all?
No.
In my mind, he leaves his sunglasses on 24/7.
I never saw
Yeah,
him
he
take
didn't
them off.
take them off.
Okay.
That we saw.
And the most tragic thing is Greg Sestero just has this like dead look in his eyes where he's just like, you can almost tell that his brain is just trying to piece together what happened in his life to bring him to this point. Like, he just seems like looking off into the distance, just trying to figure out, like, what was the one decision that made this all wrong?
Yeah.
Well,
It was when someone asked someone asked about their friendship, or they were like, oh, are you actually like best friends or whatever?
Yeah.
And Tommy went, oh yeah, me and Greg are best friends. Then sort of went, haha, joke, and then you just saw Greg, and you were like, this poor dude who pretends to be Tommy's friend because this is all he has left, because Tommy's ruined him. Tommy won't even pretend that they're like the best friends. He's just like, no, Greg's my friend, but I could do better.
Honestly, it was brilliant. And
yeah,
he'd start answering a question, and then he'd just stop and he'd go, oh, I just need to say, if more people love each other, the world would be a better place, ha ha, and then just go straight back to answering a question.
That's awesome.
When he was saying that, it's almost like he'd forget what the question was, so he'd be answering a slightly different question for the second half of his answer.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That makes
it was
me really
brilliant.
happy. I'm super jealous.
I saw a
this
Q&A with RZA at a draft house here, at a movie theater here, and he did the same thing. Like, he would get asked a question and then answer a different question, like whatever question he wanted. So I think that's maybe just, the mark of genius, that both RZA and Tommy Wiseau are just geniuses that, hear the world a little bit different.
Isn't that
Entirely
Isn't that from a
possible.
movie or like a quote or something? Like, answer not the question you are asked, but the question you wish you were asked. It might be from Fog of War, maybe.
I mean,
or
that sounds
something.
like a very politician thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But so you guys have seen The Room, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. I just saw for the first time, like, in the past week. Like, I was watching the Disaster Artist trailers, and I was like, I can't
Yeah.
take it anymore. I need to watch The
Yeah.
Room. And I'm so stoked for the Disaster Artist, because we love
Same.
Yes.
Franco,
Oh.
too. And he,
Yeah.
is nailing it in these, these previews, and Seth Rogen looks great in it. So I'm really
Yep.
excited for this. Actually, and you know what? I don't know if you saw the newest poster, but you know who's in the background.
Oh, I can guess.
Take a guess.
Is it Zephron?
It
Yep.
is.
'Cause he's
right
playing-
behind Dave Franco.
Oh, nice. Because he's playing the drug dealer, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, so the guy that threatens Denny on the roof with
Yes.
the gun?
Yes.
Yeah. Which someone did ask a question about that. And I think the question was, what happened to the drug dealer afterwards? And Tommy's answer was, well, obviously he was a bad person, and what happens to bad people? He went to jail. And just like as if the person was an idiot for not realizing that's clearly what happened. But honestly, I think watching The Room in a cinema with people that are just quoting along, throwing spoons whenever they
Yep.
see a spoon, it's probably not the best way to watch it for the first ever time, but it is the ultimate way to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, some of it there was a couple of times, because the audience would someone would shout out something, wow, what was the closing the door was good.
Yeah,
But there was something specific where a guy made a joke when something happened, and then someone else in the audience was like, oh, that was funny, I'll carry it on. And they do it, and you could just tell that the audience the first time were like, ah, ha, ha, ha. And then when the second person goes, they're like, you're
Yeah.
pushing it a little bit,
Yeah.
you're not as funny.
Had you
Yeah.
guys both seen the movie before, or was this your first time?
Yeah,
No, Liam showed me in uni.
I showed a lot of people in uni. I think I had a good 2-month period where I watched that film 3 or 4 times a week because I was just introducing new people to it.
You're doing the Lord's work.
I
Yeah, it's
know.
great. I get
I mean,
it.
it is the sort of movie that it's just so much fun to watch with people that have never seen it before, because it starts off where they're like, you get about 15 minutes in and there's been 3 sex scenes, and they turn to you and are like, is this a softcore porn that you're making me watch? And then,
No, and they're the same sex scene. It's the same sex scene over and over again. Yeah.
and then you're just like, that's it now. There's no more sex for the rest of the movie. Just sit back and enjoy. And it's just, it's so good. So
I loved
I'd
it.
give
It
that
is
film
incredible.
4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you there. Maybe even 5, but
It's close. It's just there are a couple of moments where, I mean, you can't really criticize a movie like The Room, to be honest. It does what it does, and it does it well.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's perfect. I never imagined it was going to be that good. Like I said, I just watched it for the first time, and I couldn't believe how perfectly bad it. You have to have some kind of I've seen bad movies that aren't trying to be bad, but I love bad movies that
Yeah.
really had a passion, like somebody was trying to make a good movie and it just failed miserably, is so much more enjoyable than somebody trying to make a bad movie.
Exactly.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
But then, so this was a double bill that we went to.
Oh.
So after the room, we went and queued back up outside. We got back in. I got another picture with Tommy and Greg. So the first time I had Jack come in with the picture, and the second time I had Kat come in for the picture.
Okay.
Then they did another Q&A, and this was because we were about to go and see their follow-up movie called Best Friends.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Does this
Yep,
exist?
they're releasing a new film.
They're releasing it. It's not like out
Yep.
yet.
No, we saw a test screening of it, so
Whoa.
we
Fuck,
didn't
I'm
really
so
see a final
jealous.
version. Yeah.
Wow.
Honestly. So again, the Q&A and everything was still just brilliant.
Yep.
But it was really weird seeing. So after seeing a film like The Room with a load of people that had clearly seen it before and were just enjoying themselves, to then see a film that no one had seen before, but coming off of the high of watching The Room, because
Right.
like The Room probably finished like an hour before we started watching this.
Yes.
No one really knew what to expect, and right, this is no spoilers, so I have to be careful what I say. But it honestly, the opening like couple of minutes is just genuinely beautiful, and you're like, oh, they've actually tried, and because I was worried that they just try
It's
and
like a
do
real
another
movie?
room. They've tried to do a real movie.
And it's good.
Well,
So
Okay.
they've
like Liam
tried
said,
to do a
the
real
beginning-
movie. That's the key.
Yeah,
bit.
it's so upsetting because the beginning of it, like Liam said, it's genuinely beautiful. It's really well shot. This whole opening sequence is like, I was like, oh man, they've done it.
Yeah.
They've made a good, after accidentally making The Room, they've actually made like this decent
Because
movie.
Greg wrote this movie, that's worth pointing out. And also, like,
Yeah.
the audience were like laughing at bits at the beginning that weren't that funny, and I think it was just because they were still on the high of The Room.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were expecting a Room-esque film, and this film was not that. It's
no.
like sort of serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't. This is a spoiler because this is how they've been selling the movie, even though the way they're selling it doesn't actually happen until like the last 20 minutes of the film.
Okay.
But the like one line pitch. So Greg was asked to describe this movie, and he said it's about a time that he and Tommy went on a road trip, and he thought Tommy was going to kill him.
Huh.
No. Tommy thought Greg was going to kill him.
Oh, did I get it the wrong way around?
Yeah.
Right.
He said Tommy thought that I was going to kill him,
Got you.
wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Wow.
which is weird because they're supposedly great friends.
they're best friends.
Best friends.
Hence the title of the film, Jack.
But right, so I want to say before you guys get your hopes up that they've done another film. When we left, I said to Liam, "How long was that?" I feel like we were in there for 3 hours. The film is an hour and a half long, I believe.
No, I think
And-
I think the time on IMDb is wrong. I think it's more like nearly 2 hours.
Oh, okay, so it was a little bit longer,
Yeah.
but honestly, it's not. They don't get to the Room level of cock up, and
That
they
sucks.
don't achieve a good film.
Right.
So it's like,
Oh, it's the
I was
worst. Those are the
hugely
worst. The
disappointed.
in-between ones where it's like it's not bad enough that
Yeah.
it's fun, but it's not good enough that it's real. Yeah.
Here's the
Damn.
thing.
That's what it was like for me.
both Jack and Kat came out and were just really just like fed up and like I didn't like that. I kind of enjoyed it.
Okay.
And
Well,
I
I think-
think
I feel like you have more of a history with Tommy Wiseau than
potentially. The thing is,
Yeah, no, I mean,
it feels like
yeah.
they've tried to genuinely make a film, and the one mistake they've made in this, it's just a small mistake. It could have real easily been rectified, but they've cast Tommy Wiseau in it, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because it's like they've got an actual director, they've got like cinematography.
Oh.
They like Greg Sestero is actually acting, and then anytime Tommy Wiseau comes onto the scene, it's like they just can't control him, and he just dominates the scene and just takes it in whatever direction he wants. And that's
Yeah.
when it kind of sometimes it's like there are bits when I can't tell you now if they were deliberately trying to be funny or if that's just the way it played out because of Tommy.
Yeah, because Greg is legitimately like an all right actor. Like,
Yeah, it's not like
pulls
great
off
or
that
anything,
Even
beginning
in
but
the
really
like
room,
it-
he's not bad. He's like the only
Yeah,
actor
exactly, yeah.
that's like somewhat believable. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's trying to be an actor in the movie.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
I
And I
could
think
see
he could
him-
have done it if his life hadn't been ruined by The Room.
Yeah, I could see him getting like a job on like a daytime soap or something and being perfectly fine in that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now on IMDb. I like that it's classified as comedy and thriller, which is not two genres that normally go together.
No. The other thing is, the last like 5 minutes is just bonkers insane, and I fucking loved it. I can't say what happens because it's spoilers.
Yeah, don't.
But
yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
it takes a turn and it's just amazing.
Was that the bit where me and Kat thought it had finished?
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, I know exactly
You
what you're
think
talking
it's
about.
finished,
Okay.
and then it just gives you gold. It really.
I mean,
does.
it was the opening and the ending were the two best bits of that film.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys both felt like the majority of it was a bit of a slog, and equally, like I said, like the fact that we'd been told that it was this road movie and it was about this like incident. The fact that they don't actually do that until the last 20 minutes, you then got like an hour and a half waiting for it, which is odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had a lot more fun than I think most other people in the theatre did, and it might just be because I have more of a history with them. It might just be because this was more up my street with the way that they were kind of mixing tones. But
Okay.
it honestly is just, it's great until Tommy comes in and just often derails the movie completely, and you're like,
Yeah.
what? I don't know where we are now with this.
Do you think that this is going to have a life of its own, like The Room? Like, are people going to have screenings of this and find things to throw at the screen instead of plastic spoons and stuff?
I don't think so. No. But equally, like I said, we did see a test screening, so it could be that they're going to make some changes to it.
Okay.
Gotcha. I just looked at IMDb at the release dates, and it's playing somewhere here at Beyond Fest at
Yes,
the end
it
of
is.
September. I'm going to a film festival down in Texas next week, and there's a secret screening. There might be more than one secret screening, but like if they get them to come, like that, I would love to see this movie next week, just like as a surprise. Like I want to see this
yeah.
now.
You would have to tell us what you think of it, because
I will, absolutely.
I need to speak to people about this movie, because I just want to get as many opinions as possible.
Because it doesn't look like it's actually coming out like for real until sometime next year, and I don't know when that's going to be. I guess they're going to try to sort of make it better. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do to it. Like,
Yeah.
whether they make any drastic changes or not.
But yeah, it really is a sort of thing where you don't know what to expect, and whatever you're going to go and expect, it probably will do something different to what you're expecting.
Perfect.
So I gave it 3.5 out of 5. I'm not sure what you did, Jack.
I think it's probably a 2.5, like pretty much spot on in the middle. I don't really know.
Yeah, fair enough. I went to see 2 other films, but I've done a lot of talking now. So if anyone else has seen anything or done anything, feel free to chime in.
Do you guys have the thing that Joey has, Movie Pass? Do you know what this is?
Is Movie Pass over there or no?
No, I have like a cinema pass to a specific chain of cinemas, but
Okay.
it's not like a movie pass thing. We don't get that.
But you know,
Okay.
you know about Movie Pass?
Yeah.
I don't.
So Movie Pass is a service that it's a great idea run by people who don't know how to run a company.
Got you.
It is a monthly. It used to be $35, then up to $45, and now it's down to $10 a month. And you pay this monthly fee, and then you're able to go see a movie per day in the theaters for free. Like there's an app, and so you go to
Okay.
the theater and you check into the movie. It basically loads a prepaid card. You swipe that like a normal credit card, buy the ticket, and go in.
Yeah.
They like a month ago they dropped the price from 45 to 10, and they had like which is crazy.
Bonkers. Yeah, that's
That's insane.
And
yeah.
they had like I think either tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people sign up because obviously you buy one ticket. That's movies are $13-14 like that. You save money even if you go see one a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since then, I've emailed, tweeted, DM'd, and used the chat feature in the app because their phone number no longer works. It just says use the app. And I've gotten no response to money that they owe me or anything like that. Like, it's a disaster over there. But even just for $10 a month, like, I can't complain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's an insane amount. It sounds like they might be really struggling though, and just could go under at any moment.
That's also the thing. Yeah, like I was okay paying $45 a month because if you I would see 7 or 8 movies a month, and that still would pay for it. But now that it's 10, I feel like it's just sort of the beginning of the end, and I'm just waiting for the bottom to drop out.
The number I saw, it was either 40 or 400,000 like new people were trying to sign up after it went down to 10.
They totally they need to mail you a credit card because that's how you use it, and like you're supposed to get it a week after you sign up, but because so many people signed up, they're like, oh, you're gonna have to wait 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months or something, and so people are just taking people's money and not letting them use it's insane.
Yeah.
But I used that the other night. I don't know if it's out over there because sometimes movies have wildly different dates. Is Darren Aronofsky's Mother out over there?
Yes, I saw that last night.
Oh
It's
my
one of the
God!
ones
Can
I'll
we
be
talk about
talking
Mother?
Yes, we can.
No spoilers, please.
Same. Yeah, no spoilers.
Mother is
Jennifer Lawrence, right?
It's Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't understand how this movie is in thousands and thousands of theaters and not just like an indie art house movie, because it is the craziest movie I've seen in a while. And like, I never physically react to movies, and I was so uncomfortable watching this.
Ugh.
Yeah, especially
It's-
the last like half hour.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, it does this really interesting thing, right? Where so it starts and it's just Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem kind of in a house together.
Yep.
And then someone shows up.
Ed
and
Harris from Westworld.
Yeah. And then it takes on this really uncomfortable, like, almost like home invasion tone.
Right.
But you're following like Jennifer Lawrence.
Right.
And
Kind of like Passengers.
It's a home invasion movie for one person,
That was
Yes.
but
good.
not for Javier Bardem. Like, he's totally
No.
okay with it.
Yeah,
Okay,
and so
got
Ed
you.
Harris then invites his wife in, and she just turns up. And so Jennifer Lawrence is like kind of uncomfortable. Like, these are strangers. What are they doing in our home? And he's a poet, and he's just totally happy to have like new people in there. It's helping him with his like creativity. And then it just starts escalating, and it is because you're following her, and she's so uncomfortable about it all. It makes you really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is like, so imagine you were living with someone and they just kept inviting people into your home, and you were like insisting that they get out and no one listened to you. Imagine how that
Yeah.
would feel.
That would be really
yeah, that doesn't
fucked.
feel good.
Yeah. And it's
And
like
also,
that.
you were living in a house that you physically built back up from the ground up, just like you
Yeah.
restored everything, and like this was your baby, like without having it. Like,
Got you.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would suck.
And
It was-
so, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, there's very heavy-handed metaphors for what all this means, and like you can sort of, I would say, don't read the wiki thing. Don't read wiki before. Like, don't know as little about this as going in, but then after you see the movie, read the wiki summary, and you're like, oh, like everything like really clearly falls into place because it's so uncomfortable and overwhelming, and like it just makes you like you can't not watch, but you don't want to watch, and like my brain wasn't letting me, like I could sort of pick up on some of the things, like, oh, this represents this, and then like the next day when I read the thing I was like, oh, that all is this and this, and it's just like it's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
Like,
you.
I went to see this with Kat, and we both came out, and then it just instantly spent an hour talking about what our own like interpretations of it were. It's that sort of movie.
Well, then I need to go see it.
Oh
Sounds
my
good.
God. Oh my God.
That like the performances were good. The only thing that bothered me, there's a thing that happens in certain movies. Wes Anderson is terrible for this, where the film is so orchestrated in a way that you then become very aware of the director's presence,
Okay.
and that
Yeah.
bothers me. And I felt like there were elements of that where you could feel like Darren Aronofsky's fingerprints in it in a way that was just a little bit too obvious for me. But that was like my biggest criticism of it.
Okay. I get it.
Is he he's dating Jennifer Lawrence, I think, right? Like they're dating.
Yeah, I think they got together while making this film, which is strange.
What I love about this movie is that if you look online at reviews or Letterboxd or whatever, people are either they love it, like this is like I understand that this is not a movie that I can't recommend this to everyone, and people hate it, like I get it, but like either people like really love it because it is really unique, or if you just Google Darren Aronofsky, the first thing that comes up is Mother is the worst movie of the year, maybe the century, and so it's I don't think you're just going to watch this and be like, oh, that was okay. Like, you're going to feel very strongly one way or the other.
I like divisive
fascinating.
movies like that. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you give it out of 5?
I gave it 5 out of 5.
Nice. For me,
Just
it was
because-
a 3.5. But the more I think about it, the more I do like it.
I also have a list on Letterboxd of all my favorite movies from this year in order, and like I put it at like 30 or something out of like what have I seen, like close to 120. So it's like 30, and then like I like a couple hours later I'll go back and move it up a little bit, and now it's in my top 10 somewhere. Like it's not going to be my favorite movie, but like I can't stop thinking about it.
Yes, exactly.
Good.
Did anyone see anything else?
No, not me. I didn't see any movies.
So the only other one I saw was It.
I saw
And?
it.
Yeah.
I really want to see it.
Yeah, so I'm going to be real careful with spoilers and stuff.
Thank you.
It was a really fun movie. I liked it. I loved the kids. Like, all of the cast were really good. I was just hoping it would be a little bit scarier. But I think because I was having such a fun time with it, I never felt particularly uncomfortable.
Okay.
Right.
Maybe, like, there's points where they maybe use a little bit too much CGI. And personally, I feel like I'm getting kind of bored of them, like, trading in on this, like, nostalgic view of the 80s that seems to be really popular at the moment. I feel like
Yes.
Stranger Things did it really well.
That's what I heard. I heard a lot of people say that this was just like very Stranger Things.
And also,
Yes.
it doesn't help that the main kid is from Stranger Things.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so,
okay.
I've never read the book, because the
Which
book
one
is like...
is he, by the way?
Mike in Stranger Things. He's the...
Oh, he's like the main kid from
Yeah,
Stranger
the main
Things. He's like
kid.
the main
Yes.
kid from It. Okay,
And he's
wow.
the main kid in this, yeah. Or that's not, he's one of the main kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it is just a very good version of a movie you've seen a lot. Like, if you like this kind of movie, and if you've seen a lot of Stephen King movies, I feel like you've seen this before. This is just a good version of it.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it was fun. It was a lot funnier than I was expecting it to be. Like, there's some real laugh out loud moments.
Okay.
And the girl that plays Beverly, Sophia Lillis, is really good.
She is really good.
Yeah, but and equally, I can't remember his name. Is it Bill Skarsgård, the guy that plays Pennywise?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was fine. Like, no problems. I like that they obviously didn't try to just like copy Tim Curry from the miniseries. That was all good. But yeah, I needed it to be a bit more scarier for me.
It also
too fun.
It felt too long and too short. Weirdly.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like they could
Like
have
the
either dragged it out or shortened
Well,
it up.
the first hour is really slow, and then the second half is good. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I feel like it's a lot of story to tell, and either cut some other stuff out and sort of make it tighter, or I don't know. Like, now that we have these, like, I know it already was a miniseries, but now that we have shows like, you know, True Detective and American Horror Story or whatever, these anthology series that can be 13 hours, like, now that those work, like, I kind of wish this was more like that, you know, like, keep up the level of production, but just
Yeah.
tell more of it.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, because so I've read the book but not seen the miniseries.
Okay.
Have you not
And-
seen that yet?
I just haven't. It doesn't appeal to me because I loved the book so much, and every time, like, I hear a lot of good things about the miniseries,
Yeah.
but then I see like a screenshot of it of his face poking out of the sewer, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this because that looks really shit.
Okay.
Because the way this, to me, from the trailers, it looks like their interpretation of, you know, Pennywise and stuff.
Yeah.
It looks more like how it felt in the book.
Yeah, but you've
'Cause-
also got to bear in mind, like, the miniseries definitely had, like, budget constraints.
Yeah, no, which isn't, you know, I'm not dissing the miniseries. I'm just saying that's something that would factor into, like, I don't particularly want to watch it because I've had the experience with the book,
Yeah.
and the book is genuinely really good.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch someone fuck it up, no matter what it was, whether it was the budget that fucked it or, you know, whatever. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so from reading the book and not seeing the miniseries, like, I know that a bunch of shit got dropped for this film anyway,
Right,
yeah.
so I agree with you on them making it a series because that would have been awesome. But, like, neither of you two have read the book, right?
No, right.
Liam or
No, I
Riley?
haven't, no.
Okay. Because that's what I want to know, is I want someone that's read it to be like,
Was it good or
to
not?
hear whether they're like, oh, it's a really good interpretation, or this is nothing like the book, but it's a good film, or, you know...
I think I've heard good things in terms of the adaptation. I read one article that there's this one sort of controversial scene toward the end
Yeah.
of the book that they dropped. That's all I know about the adaptation.
And I think...
Yeah, me and Liam have spoken on here about that scene, and
It's
when
obvious
Liam was
why
getting
they
ready
dropped
for the
it.
film.
Which sounds crazy.
Yeah.
When you hear like what that scene is, I'm like, how is that? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's fucking weird.
Yeah, I'd give it 3.5 out of 5.
I think I gave it 3 out of 5.
That,
Right
yeah,
about there, though.
That makes sense.
I
Yeah.
do think it's a movie that I'll like more the second time I see it.
So I have read as well that they're doing a extended version for the Blu-ray release.
Oh, okay. I'll watch
really?
that.
Yeah, I'm kind of keen to see what they kind of maybe skipped out of the movie that they'll add back in for that.
The
Nice.
problem I had with it, and I think this is probably better explained in the book, is that every character in the movie is so black or white. Like, everybody is either like
Yeah.
pure evil or pure good, and
Yeah.
that wasn't interesting to me. And I think as the movie goes on, you sort of know why that is, and that's sort of the extension of Pennywise or whatever. But like I was just like, oh well, there's nothing interesting about, like, you just know that the kids are all good and basically everybody else is bad, and it was like a very clear dividing line, which I know is sort of true of a lot of things, but just that was sort of strange to me. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, see, that's a shame because one of the bit that they dropped for the film, which is there's like an entire second story in the book, about them being adults and like the aftermath of that whole experience, and that would have dealt with your issue there, because that is sort of like, it deliberately is contrasting this like innocence of them being kids with how they all turn out, and like shit doesn't go well for people and as they grow up. So it's sort of
the mini series does that, where it shows you both sides of that story, and I don't think this is necessarily spoilers, but they have announced that they're doing a sequel.
Yeah. See, but that doesn't. But to me, the fact that the story was interwoven with itself, that's you're getting the contrast there and then. A sequel would be weird if the sequel is them as adults.
Yeah,
right.
So the miniseries interweaves it, but this one obviously won't be able to. So at the moment, people are kind of trying to second guess who they will cast as the adults.
Zephron.
So yes, please.
I'd be down.
So does the book and the miniseries, and I'm guessing it chapter 2, like, is the adults, is it 27 years later?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're all like close to 40-ish.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, they won't because they're greedy, but I would love it if they waited 27 years before doing the sequel to this.
No, I think it's coming out in 2 years. Yeah, but that would be great to get the whole cast back together.
Because you think it was 27 years between the miniseries and then releasing this movie?
Which is crazy.
Oh. Interesting.
That's like Twin Peaks. Like at the end of the original series, it's like, I'll see you in 25 years, and like 25 years later, they announced the TV series. So like,
yeah.
Sometimes things just work out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's everything I've done at cinema. Have you read any books, Jack?
No, I'm still working my way through American Psycho.
Nice.
Okay. It's a difficult read.
It's a big boy book, Jack.
No, it's not even that. It's not that the book's hard to read. It's that, like, I think I said on the last episode, but like, it has this real, I see what it's doing.
Yeah.
But what it's doing isn't super interesting to me. Like, it's overplayed. Like, they do this whole, they're trying to get you to experience what it's like for him with his, adult life, and also contrasting it with the, like, murdering. But, like, they just drag out I'm like 50% through, and it's only just started to get sort of murdery. Which I'm like, I get why you're doing it.
You've been skim reading bits as well, which I don't know how I feel about.
Skim reading?
Didn't you say you like...
Oh, I skim read one bit, which is they have an entire chapter in the book is literally him dissecting the band Genesis. And by skim read, I read half of that chapter, and then was like, I'm gonna like just keep looking until they stop mentioning Genesis, which was the rest of the chapter.
That's funny.
So I don't know how accurate your review's going to be if you haven't actually read the whole book.
Oh well, I'll skim over that bit, Liam. When I give my review, I'll say plus or minus a half a star if the review of Genesis was any.
Wait, so Jack, have you seen the movie?
No, I haven't.
Wow.
After I finish this, I'll watch. Yeah, I know. I don't know how I've not seen the film.
Because I wonder if they just translated Genesis for the movie to Huey Lewis in the News.
So he loves Genesis in the movie too. He does.
Yeah, and he's in the book. He's just started mentioning Huey Lewis in the news.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if
you've got another chapter coming where he reviews that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm genuinely like, I bet there's a fucking chapter in this where he just talks about Huey.
From what I heard, there's like a whole other chapter that's just like a list of things, maybe.
Oh, really?
It's a book that I've had on my shelf for a long time. I just haven't read because as time goes on, it's sort of more apparent how much of an asshole Bret Easton Ellis is. And so I'm just like, I don't know if I want to read this.
See, I read it when I was a teenager, so we're going back a good few, like probably 15 years ago now was when I read it, and I don't remember it too well, but I just got so bored of Jack basically fucking bumming space shit that he likes to read, where either he likes reading books that have like aliens and that sort of shit in it, or like weird fantasy books that no one cares about.
So Jack, have you read The Dark Tower?
Yeah, I love The Dark Tower.
Because I'm in the middle of the first one right now, and I'm having a hard time getting through. I know that I've heard that the later books are better, but I'm just having a hard time getting through the first one.
The first one is a bit of a weird one, because he wrote it when he was super young, and then he rewrote the first book and did the rest. Like, there's this, so it's this weird... It's in a weird place in it, but honestly, it picks up and that series gets really good.
Okay, cool.
And then a lot of people have an issue with, I think it's book 4 or 5. A lot of people are just like, this is the worst book in the series.
Okay.
Which I like. The book that everyone hates is one of the ones that I love, so I don't get it. But
That's cool.
I haven't seen the film though, because I was going to, and then immediately all the reviews were like, "This film is shit." And I was like, "Cool, I don't think I'm going to watch it."
Yeah, I was going to rush through the book to go see the movie in theaters, and then the same thing happened. I was just like, oh, I think I could take my time with this book because I'm not going to go see this movie anytime soon. I'm going to watch it at home when I can sort of do something else while watching it in case I get bored.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But yeah, I basically very politely asked Jack to read some books that were maybe going to be of interest to me, so I didn't have to just sit here bored while he droned on for like 10 minutes about this fucking fantasy kingdom that I didn't care about.
Which
Nice.
you do anyway,
No,
even with the books you've recommended.
No, but genuinely, we have had feedback that your reviews have got a lot better now.
Oh.
But I think that's just. I think I've just got better at reviewing them.
Yeah, because now you're not reading books that you're just bumming and giving like 4 out of 5 all the time. You're actually
Yeah, no,
putting
I
up
do
like
admit,
criticisms and stuff.
It is difficult when you're reviewing so my thing is I read through, or for a while I've not been doing it recently, but I'd go on like the top list of the best sci-fi books, and I'd be like, which ones haven't I read, and I'd read them, which inevitably means I'm going to give everything 4 or 5 stars.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is then, I admit, is fucking boring to listen to someone just be like, yep, I read another amazing book and another amazing book and this third amazing book.
So, Liam, what did you recommend?
So I recommended American Psycho and was it Nocturnal?
Yeah,
by Scott
you did.
someone?
You're forgetting one, Liam.
What was the other? Oh, and I read Fluke. I recommended Fluke by James Herbert that you did not like.
No.
Is that the guy who wrote Dune?
I don't think so. He the famous books he wrote was stuff like Rats and I think The Fog he wrote.
I don't know any of these books.
I think he's like
Yeah.
a British author.
Okay.
But yeah, you did not like Fluke.
No, it's not a very good
But
book.
I've also recommended House of Leaves that I'm hoping you'll get to soon.
Oh. I've tried to read that several times, and that's very, very challenging to just even like pick up and try to figure out how to read it.
Yeah, I told Jack he had to get a physical copy. He couldn't
Yep.
download it and get like a Kindle version. But I haven't told him why.
Oh, it's very interesting.
Yes. And I think it will be up Jack Street, so I'm really excited for him to read it.
Yeah, I mean, it's on my list. There's something else. I told someone I'd be reading something else first, and I can't remember
Was that
what it
Gibbo?
was. Yeah. Oh, there's something called 13, was it? I think?
Oh, is that the book with
Maybe.
the girl? Is it? Oh, please no.
No idea.
Oh
That
god.
became a movie?
Oh. Please.
Oh, is it bad? Oh.
No, it's like.
I don't know if it's the same book or not, but there was a movie that came out like around 2000, right? I think.
God,
called 13?
did like a really depressed, shitty girl tell you to read it?
I don't think Gibbo's a depressed girl, but he might be.
Was it a woman? A girl told you to read it?
No.
No. It wasn't.
Huh.
Okay, then maybe it's not the same book. Okay. Because, like, the movie 13 is, like, about this girl that, like, is 13 years old and then goes off the deep end.
Oh, is
and,
this the one with like Evan Rachel Wood?
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that.
Is it 13
I-
Reasons Why?
No.
I hope it's
Oh,
not
it's called
that.
14. There you go. I got it wrong. It's called 14.
Okay, thank God.
What another
I got so
mistake.
nervous for you. I was like, if you have to read a book about this bitch, like, God.
All right, housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
So I know you've done some stuff, Jack, because you told me.
Oh yeah, I carried on reading Berserk, which is just good.
The comic?
I can't remember
Is
what
it
we
a
gave
comic?
it when we. Yeah, it's a manga.
Yeah. I've heard of this.
Yeah, it's like I think it's quite famous for being like
Yeah, I've heard of it.
pretty early on and shit.
I
But
like some
we
comics.
did it for an episode of Nerd on Nerd ages ago, and I think we both liked it, Liam, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. But I think
Or you were a bit iffy. You weren't sure, but you wanted to keep reading.
well, it was because we'd heard that it was really shocking and extreme, and that's kind of why I wanted to read it. And then the first book wasn't that shocking or extreme,
yeah,
Oh, okay.
but then it gets there.
yeah, it does start to do some pretty fucked up stuff. But it's like I don't know why I didn't keep reading it at the time because I've got back into it and I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm like on volume 5 or 6.
Oh, you're pretty much up to where I am now.
Yeah, I think I've probably caught up to you
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
or around.
We had some
yeah.
tweets. Oko Ortiz tweeted us saying, "That's bullshit. Where's fair use?" And this is because YouTube have removed one of our videos.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We had
Sucks.
for Culture Swap, we did Train to Busan a few episodes ago.
Uh-huh.
And we used the poster in the YouTube video,
They took down for a
what?
picture?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the fact,
So here's the thing: is we looked it up, and fair use is fucking confusing.
Yeah.
Because we think that we're okay. We think that we should be all right, and that we should be allowed to use it. But also, it's not like super clear. Because we're reviewing, and then but then there's all this other stuff where people are like, oh, you know, it's sort of up to whoever it goes to, which ends up being a judge. And to be honest, I can't afford to go to court over using a poster
Yeah,
of a YouTube
fuck that.
video.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
change the picture. I agree.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how you can go on YouTube and find any clip of any movie ever just uploaded by random guys, but then I put something up and it gets flagged immediately. Like, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong.
well, the other
Yeah.
thing that bothers me is we haven't monetized that video,
Right.
So we're not getting anything out of it. If anything, it's just like free promotion for this movie.
Exactly.
So and we were actually really favourable about the film. Like, we liked it. So
It's a good film.
yeah, I don't honestly. Fuck YouTube, basically, or fuck the people on YouTube that go around fucking flagging this bullshit.
Yeah, it's not YouTube themselves. Like, they're in a shit situation where, you know, they were this free platform, and then when people started doing stuff that infringed on copyright, their company gets put in a dodgy situation where it's like,
Yeah.
well, technically you're letting these people do it. How are you going to fix this so we don't sue you?
I think the issue
I get
is
it.
fair use is such a grey area that we're 90% sure we're right, but one, because we haven't monetized it, there's nothing in it for us to actually fight this, and then two, we are only 90% right, like we're 90% sure that we're okay to do this, and we have zero actual legal know-how when it comes to this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
We had some tweets from Mark, who said, the D&D map argument, I'm all Team Jack.
Thank you.
Bullshit. Just utter
Well,
bullshit.
so we started playing D&D, and Liam had a big go at me because I'm the dungeon master and I like using maps. That caused a big argument on Nerd. But we've recently, Liam, we played the second game.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think after we recorded the episode where we fell out, I did say to you, I'm just being a dick on purpose to cause an argument.
Yeah, you didn't say that on the episode. You said it
Oh,
afterwards.
no, fuck no.
Yeah.
No. Because then I messaged you and I was like, oh, I have actually thought about this before and have a solution that I think will work.
Yeah.
So we then
just
played
to
our
be
second
clear,
game.
Just to
which-
be clear, my issue wasn't that you were using the maps. The maps were such a focus that it felt more like playing a board game than playing like Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Yeah, which is reasonable.
Yeah.
But I was doing it to ease in the new players we've got. But in the second game, we've sort of resolved it, haven't we, Liam?
I just didn't look at the map.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm cool with.
Yeah, so that's good. And then he said, regarding The Last Starfighter, I saw it when I was very young, back in 1987-ish. I have not seen it for many years, and was planning on rewatching it again to give you the full review, but I didn't get time. But your episode inspired me to rewatch.
Good.
Oh, fair enough.
So that's good. And Lee just tweeted us about, you know, what a good time he had being on the show, that sort of stuff.
Oh, well.
You know, obviously, you know, it's great to be on the show. Amanda tweeted us saying...
Isn't it Joey and Joe?
It is. It's great. I love it.
I just wouldn't get your hopes up for a precedent to be set. Like, I don't know if we're going to be tweeting you saying how great it is, but we are enjoying ourselves today. I don't want... although now that I said that, I guess we do have to tweet you.
We're gonna
Next
send
time-
proper cards.
next
I
time
need
housekeeping is
addresses.
gonna be great.
I need thank yous. I'm gonna send out thank yous.
Fantastic.
Hey, can we get physical mailing addresses so we can send you notes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe some chocolate.
Pictures of
Amanda
ourselves.
tweeted us saying that she was listening in her car. Jack says he taught Liam how to wipe himself, and I laugh hysterically. Think I scared the dude in the car next to me. To which I responded, when you say that, it makes our show sound weird. And she
It's
said,
not.
haha, I feel like it also makes me look weird, but that topic does come up a fair amount in your episodes, and I laugh every time. And I just said that topic comes up too much if you ask me.
Well,
And we don't need to bring it up again.
I feel like, you know, Joe and Joey are sitting here and they're thinking, well, I don't know what this.
I don't know
Jack
what it's
teaching them
about.
to wipe himself.
I would like to hear it.
Exactly. Liam, at the age of what? So we were at uni, Liam. So you'd have been 20.
I think I was like 21, 22.
No, it was later than that.
Okay, maybe
Because you're
23.
4 years older than me.
Yeah,
and
maybe 23.
I was 18 when I went to uni.
Alright, so maybe 22.
I think 22, 23.
Yeah, alright.
Liam revealed to me that he didn't know how to wipe his own ass. I think he was talking about how difficult it was, and then I was
How
like,
does that come up in conversation?
I mean, me and Liam are weird.
Yeah.
I will admit that me and Liam are weird.
Yeah, okay.
This we know.
The thing is...
But something had come up, Liam was talking about how difficult his life was wiping.
I'd never been
And
taught.
then I quizzed him, and it turned out he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. So I had to explain to someone
Did you
4 years
show
my
him?
senior.
Or did like
No,
was
no,
there
no.
YouTube videos involved? Or like
No, I think I just sat him down. I bought him a book once called Liam Learns to Wipe.
Yeah,
Okay.
for children. Oh no,
was it literally called
was,
Liam Learns to Wipe?
No, it was actually called Liam Goes Poo in the Toilet, I think.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That makes me...
I was so happy when I found
Dude,
it.
that's fucking incredible. I can't believe that you found it with his name in it and everything. That's so
Yeah,
I know,
with my name in it.
How amazing is that?
It's great. Yeah, that's very well played. I wish I would have like known you guys then, just so I could have seen this play out. Like I could have like heard it happening. Yeah, that's perfect.
yeah.
Wow, I dream of shit like that. So serendipitous.
Wait, Joe has this idea. Can you share your idea? It's not that exactly, but it's the wedding registry thing. It reminded me of that.
Okay, so again, you guys think you're weird. I think that we're pretty weird. My brain goes in weird places. I used to do a lot of drugs. I don't do a lot of drugs anymore, but my brain still operates like I do a lot of drugs. So
yeah.
I had this idea that we found. What were we doing?
I was Googling myself.
He was Googling himself.
But I don't remember why that was. It was for a reason, but I don't remember why. But I was
because I said it's
myself.
like really like you like there's nobody else but me, but also you can't find me on the internet because like I haven't done anything. So Joey's Googling himself, and he has a much more common name than I do. Kind of not really common, but common enough that there's more than one of him. So he's like Googling, and he's like, oh, check this out. I found this person's wedding registry. Like, Joey and this chick get married. And I'm like, oh, dude, this is the idea I have. Okay, so follow me here, guys. What you do is, if I ever had a lot of expendable income, I would go online, find old wedding registries.
Like 3 years old.
At least 3 years old. And I would send the wedding registry just like one gift of like the weirdest thing I could find that somebody hasn't bought yet. And just like write a note like, sorry I missed you guys, still thinking about you. And just send off the present.
Oh, I love that idea.
So like you just like, but and then I like to imagine what would happen if like a husband gets like the email notification that Joe has sent you guys like one knife. And it's like, just thinking about you guys. Sorry I missed the wedding.
That one night
like,
was great.
Yeah, what a wonderful night. Or yeah, great time seeing you. Or something like that, right? And like, how they would have to explain to each other that a stranger found their registry online 3 years later and decided to send them one weird present. And just like what would happen in their house when this happened.
Yeah,
So
what's more believable, that or the fact that she had an affair while they were in a relationship?
So my ultimate goal is hopefully that their marriage just totally crumbles based on me sending one present from their wedding registry 4 years later.
Yeah, no, that's sort of evil genius level.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
It was a really great idea. I think it's really funny. Like it's very harmless, but at the same time, like this could cause catastrophic shit. And like they're gonna have to go pick up this present, or it's gonna get delivered to their house. And like, what if they're already broken up? Like it's there's just so many things that could happen with this.
The only downside is that you don't know how it plays out.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what I was gonna
the most
say.
disappointing part about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, is that even better though? Because it's like just, you know,
It could just
I
happen
don't know.
in
It's
your
like you
head.
started a fire and then you just walked away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
so that's my dream.
It's
That's
a really
that's one of
twisted.
the ideas I have.
It's a really twisted version of Pay It Forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, precisely. And just leave like really cryptic notes everywhere. Like I think it would be pretty cool. Add them on Facebook afterwards. You know.
I feel like that's too close though. That wasn't a wrinkle that I knew about. That's the killer returning to the scene of the crime. Like I'm here now.
Just add one of them. Just him or just her. You know what I mean? So like then they're like, well, he friended me, but like you didn't friend both of us. Like, you know, just like keep like instigating. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm now thinking about it too much.
Right? It's fun. It's fun to think about. I think it is.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, that's one of my weird ideas.
We also had a tweet from Kat, because I was asking people to tweet us about We Are Your Friends, or just Zac Efron.
Okay.
And she said his eyes are dreamy, which I can't really
Are they the bluest
argue
blue?
with.
The bluest blue.
Yep. Tom Hogan, friend of the show, tweeted us saying, if you guys ever met Zac and could ask one question he had to answer truthfully, what would it be?
I know exactly what it is. Can I go first?
Go for it.
Did you fuck Ashley Tisdale? That's exactly what I want to know. I know he fucked Gabriella, but I don't know if he fucked Ashley Tisdale, and I really do want to know. And then I would high five him afterwards. Either answer didn't matter,
Either
yes
answer.
or no. I'd still high five him.
That's a good question.
I'm trying to think. I don't have like a burning question for him. I think that if answering truthfully, I just want him to be on the podcast. I just want him to be on one episode. That's all I want. And for
That would be great.
for him to retweet a link. Like, that's all I want. Or even, honestly, you don't even have to be on the podcast. Just retweet us once.
That's not a big ask, is it, really?
No. And for the Zeffies, for the Zack Attack Awards, we are tweeting out pictures of all the nominees for every category, and then each
Joey
one,
made some awesome pictures. You
I've
guys should check
noticed.
them out.
They're
They're
great.
each
really
one
good.
we're tagging at Zac Efron. So all we need to do is for him to see one. I'm sending out
Yeah.
84 this week. All we need to do is see one. If he sees one, and then it's like, what is this? And then goes down that
That's
rabbit
it.
hole,
Oh, perfect.
hook, line, and
I
sinker.
think but he seems like one of these guys that like sent one too many dick pics before, and his PR agent was like, "No more social media for you." You know what I mean? So I feel like he just hasn't seen it because he's not allowed to. You know, maybe he has like a restraining order or something. Who knows?
That's why I'm excited for one of the two podcasts that we're starting, or one of the three podcasts, one of the two actors that we're doing in December. I feel like more so than Zac Efron, or more so than the other guys we've done on our podcast network, more than like Nicolas Cage and Keanu Reeves and Shia LaBeouf, one of the actors we're doing, I feel like, I mean, it's still a pipe dream, but I feel like he's more engaged on social media, and
Okay,
he would
cool.
be more likely to see something that we tag him in,
Can
and then
you
go from
reveal
there.
who that is, or is that like top secret?
We can give you a hint, or do you want to bleep it out? Because we did the bleep noise on our episodes.
I mean,
Yeah, I can bleep it.
are you going to remember to bleep it, Jack?
Yeah, I'll make a note.
Good, well done.
Ah, nice.
I still like, because he's obviously a massive movie star, and
Yeah.
I have no.
But he's a little bit younger. He's kind of fun, right?
Well, Zac
So,
Efron's
like,
young too, though.
yeah, but I told you, Zac Efron has a restraining order. He's not allowed to use Twitter anymore.
Yeah, his tweets are very boring.
I
Yeah.
just feel like of all the people that we could do a podcast about, this guy is one who could sort of see the irony, see the humor in it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like going
Yeah.
through all my movies and just like even these weird ones that nobody's ever heard of, and not give us an hour of his time, but just like sort of quote tweet us or something. You know what I mean? Like I can see
Yeah.
that happening.
Like, this is
Like-
funny. These guys are weird. Anything like that.
We're planning on doing like a spin-off show where we go through. Right, this sounds like a great idea on paper. It's going to be horrible doing it. We're going to go through all of the films that the Asylum have released.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a
And
terrible,
we're-
terrible idea.
Yeah, no, I know.
I love them.
Joey, didn't you tell me about this?
Yeah,
The
so
Asylum?
so the Asylum is like the movie studio that like when Avengers is coming out in theaters in a month, they'll go
Yes.
do like The Amazings and then put it out on Blu-ray
That's
Yes.
right.
at convenience stores and gas stations and bodegas, and people are like,
Yeah.
oh, this
Yeah.
movie's in theaters, I can just buy it here.
Yeah, it's basically to trick grandparents into
Yes.
getting these shitty knockoffs for their grandkids, and their grandkids are like, "Oh, thanks, that's exactly what I
Yeah, they
wanted."
did. They did Snakes on a Train. That's right.
Yeah.
or
Bad film.
Transmorphers.
Yeah, Transmorphers. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I
They
get it.
they also did the Alan Quartermain movies, who are the Indiana Jones
Yep.
knockoff, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's
How many movies
Yeah.
have they done? They've done like hundreds, right?
Oh, they've done loads.
Yeah. So we're gonna do it one. We're gonna do one episode a month. I think is the plan.
235
And they-
is what I have a list at right now.
The best thing is they release about sort of
15 a
20
year.
films a year.
Yeah.
So we're never gonna catch up to them.
You'll never be better than this.
No.
Wait, Joe.
We will
Joe,
never
what was
be
the
better
idea
than
that we had for Film Club? There was somebody like that I wanted to do. Do you remember what I'm talking about? It wasn't the Asylum. It was something like the Asylum. We're like, oh, it'd be awesome to see all their movies, and we're like, oh no, there's way too many of them.
No, I don't remember. I honestly don't.
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. Do you guys know? Are you familiar with? Canon Films. You guys know Canon Films.
Yeah.
Like they're
What is-
I don't.
so
one
Canon
is Canon?
Films is like the Apple and Death Wish and Cobra and
A lot of like
the Last
Roger
American
Corman
Virgin.
films, right?
What's
A
that?
lot of Roger Corman films, if I'm right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Canon Films is like the
Street
Asylum.
Night. Yeah, Street Night. I remember this
Yeah,
one.
it's like it's that sort of level of movie, but not a knockoff of things.
Okay, I get
Got
it.
it.
And it's made with a lot of heart. Like there's two guys who pretty much like made all of these movies, and they would just like churn them out, and it was just. And they did that documentary a couple years ago called Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, that's right.
The untold story of Canon Films, which I think is on Netflix. But that's sort of, I think, that's my American version of watching all the Asylum films. Like something I'm also never going to do, but something that would be really fun in theory on paper.
Well, we're hoping that we could maybe, potentially down the road a little bit, start getting some of the maybe cast or crew that work on these films to hopefully like either guest or see us, because, you know, if they're working in Asylum films, I'm hoping that they'll just kind of take what they can get, really.
Yeah, right? I feel like that. I agree. I think you have a chance.
And maybe that's a way to like sort of whittle the list down. Like you just reach out to all of them, and whoever says yes, then you do those movies.
Oh, that could be a good idea.
That's a good idea. Yeah. That is a good idea.
To go back to Tom's tweet, I think the question I'd like to ask Zach would be, what would it take for him to agree to a High School Musical 4?
Oh.
How much cocaine?
A lot of weed. A big bag of weed. That's
so
what it would
much.
take.
Or also, like, what do I have to do to get you to love me?
In a romantic way or in a friendship way? Or just
whatever
however?
he's willing to do. Whatever he's willing. Don't mind.
What if he was like, you have to like totally get some plastic surgery to look just like Little Franco? And then
if
I'll
you can
be
pay
your
for
friend.
it, sure.
Okay.
Jack, have you got a question for Zach?
Yeah, I'd say Mr. Efron.
Mister, you're very proper about. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd be polite. I'd be polite. I'd probably. Do you know what? I'd probably play him the recording of this episode, because that doesn't count as a question. And at the end, I'd say, "What do you think about these three?"
That works.
Fair
I like
enough.
that.
That's kind of it for housekeeping, but I wanted to talk about your Zeffies, because I have issues.
Okay, let's do it.
So do you want to explain what the Zeffies are?
Hey, go ahead, Joe.
You want me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as we were going through the Zac Efron films, we've now seen all of them. Zac Attack, we talked about that. We noticed some trends in Zac Efron movies.
Which I'm sure even Jack knows at least one of these trends.
Yeah. First of all, he's always shirtless in the movies. Second of all, he cries in a lot of them. There's a lot of tears in these movies.
Yep.
And so when we were like, we started playing games about like guessing how he was going to be shirtless and crying, and we started realizing, like,
which by the way, I don't think we ever talked about Liam. When Liam did the guesses for Summerland, you were actually kind of close on some things.
Oh, really?
You were by far the closest of how he was going to be shirtless and crying.
But you also guessed that they were going to move to a place called Winterland, and
which was just
that wasn't anywhere close to what actually happened.
Ever.
Oh, that's a shame.
Hands down, that's probably my favorite guess in the history of playing that game. Is
and
they're
also,
moving from Summerland to Winterland.
I don't know if you listened to any of the episodes afterwards, because I totally get it why you wouldn't want to, but everyone who hears that episode likes you so much more than they like us.
They write in and just tell us that you're just the best, and that they really enjoyed that you were on the show, and you were the best guest we've ever had.
That's not an exaggeration. We've heard that from 4 or 5 different people. We've had more compliments about you than anyone. And this is not us just lying because we're on this podcast. Like, people love you. They love you.
Yeah, seriously, they were really, really stoked about you. Matt in the car, our friend, we made him listen to it in the car, and he was like, "Dude, this kid is hilarious."
Yeah, because we were listening. Joe and I were driving with one of our friends to different breweries here, and we just listened to the episode. And every time me and Joe would make a joke, he wouldn't respond, and then you would just say anything, and he would just crack up. We're like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, yeah, he loved it.
Can I just super quickly interject here?
Here we go.
Just
Here we
complain,
fucking go.
you two. I'm real annoyed that you didn't just say to me before we started recording. You could have taken me aside and you could have said, "Look, Jack, we're going to compliment Liam, because what you've done is just, I'm going to hate this for the rest of Nerd on Nerd. He's never going to let this drop."
So here's our proposition to you. If you like that actor that we mentioned before, or if you like Fast and Furious movies, or if you like this other actor, which we can't give you too many exclusives on this episode, you can be on, and you can win over our audience for that.
Yes, you're welcome to join and just totally fuck over Liam and become the #1 favorite UK correspondent.
But also, Jack, just to let you know, later in this episode, we're going to have some harsh words for Liam, so I know that you're in a low place right now, but you're going to be riding high shortly.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
That makes me happy.
Okay, so back to the Zeffies.
Yeah.
Zeffies, we throughout, like, we were watching all the movies, we're kind of arguing what we like about each one, what kind of things we like, and we're like, you know what, we should do an award show at the end. Like, we've watched all of them, we should go through and pick, the best movie, the best characters, the best female characters. We're going to do it kind of like the Oscars. We're going to throw in a shirtless, we're going to throw in a crying, and this is what we're going to come down to.
We have 12 categories.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be honest, most of the categories I have no issues with, and they make complete sense.
Good.
Okay.
My issue is the first category is what is Zac Efron's best film?
Yeah.
And you've neglected to include his best film as one of the options.
What's his best film?
What is his best film?
It's the first High School Musical.
Well, you're wrong though.
I mean, you put High School Musical 2, which is maybe the worst of the trilogy. It's
Oh,
still-
no.
That's hands down the best one.
Is it
Three
though?
is the worst.
3 is the worst by far.
I
Which
mean,
is
to
why-
be fair,
I agree
look,
on
look,
that.
Jack, 3's the only one you watch sober.
Yeah, and it was the worst one.
For sure.
And it also had the biggest budget, and it was actually in theaters. That's why it's in our most disappointing category.
This is the issue I'm having, you see.
Yep.
Because I like 2,
Yeah.
they're not even in high school for most of it.
Well, they're high school age. They're just not at high school.
The songs are
Yeah.
better. I mean,
Sharpay's hotter.
yeah, dude, the scene of him crying and throwing sand with both hands should
The
win
Bet
you
on
over.
It song. Yeah.
I mean, I do
Yeah.
like the angry dance scene, yeah.
Yes. Like, that's...
Oh, yeah, I'd forgotten the angry dance scene.
Yeah.
See?
Although
I still-
in High School Musical 3, even though we're both disappointed by that, the song "Scream," which is basically him in the Inception music video, that's
Yeah.
pretty wonderful too.
It's Jamiroquai.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
like Jamiroquai doing Virtual Insanity, right?
Yep.
That one? Yeah, that's a good one.
And then for your worst film, you have
Yep.
liberal arts as an option, which surprised me.
Well, we hated that movie,
God, it was bad.
See,
and
I
he's
quite
barely
liked
in it.
He is barely
He's-
in it.
Did you see that awkward moment?
Yes.
Okay. Then, yeah, that's... I mean, liberal arts is in it, but obviously there's a real winner in that category.
I also have a massive crush on Elizabeth Olsen, and I love her in everything. And that movie,
That
she
was
couldn't
just-
even save that movie.
That was just Ted Mosby trying to fuck an underage girl the whole movie. It was... Ugh.
Because didn't he
Yeah,
write and
I
direct
could
it also?
relate.
Oh Jesus, Liam.
Touche. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
No,
Fair.
I watched it and I liked it, and then I recommended it to my friend, and he was just like, "Why the fuck did you make me watch this? I
Good.
hated every moment of it."
Yeah.
So
You should have your
maybe
friend
Yeah.
vote for the Zeffies, and maybe he'll vote for that for worst film.
I will let him know. But yeah, all of the others I'm fine with. I was just very surprised that it just High School Musical 1 wasn't an option.
First of all, it's like... It's too easy of an option, right?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people haven't seen as many Zeph movies as we have. So if we put
I
High
mean,
School
what is
Musical
wrong
in
with
there...
them?
It's a good chance that it would win just because it's the most popular and well
Right.
known.
Like that's why I'm afraid that Neighbors is gonna like just blow everything away because that's the movie that everybody's seen. Like more than
Dirty
anything else, I think.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or as
yeah.
you guys know it, or as Joe originally knew it, Bad Neighbors.
Did you know the story?
Yes. Yeah, well,
I-
that's what we know it as.
So
yeah.
Joe has
Oh,
a
really?
Yeah.
that's the UK title. But Joe has a dumb story about this.
No, I found a copy of the movie somehow that was titled Bad Neighbors, and I just always called it Bad Neighbors because that's how I saw, like, that was the title when I watched it.
And then his wife is like,
Rachel-
"What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, what movie are you talking about? I'm like,
Well, yeah.
Bad Neighbors, Bad Neighbors. And she's like, that movie's just called Neighbors, and you're an idiot. So yeah,
The reason why we call it Bad Neighbours in the UK is because there's a popular Australian soap called
Oh right,
Neighbours.
yes. Mm-hmm.
oh,
And apparently us Brits are too dumb to notice the difference between an Australian soap and a like relatively successful movie.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Okay.
was the sequel called Bad Neighbors 2, or was it just called Neighbors 2: Sorority Rising?
It was Bad Neighbours too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
But yeah, that's it for housekeeping. So now we're on to culture swap, and I'm going to let you guys start by kind of explaining why you decided to choose We Are Your Friends.
Okay. I like electronic music a lot. I've been to a lot of like festivals, DJ stuff like that. And when
Cruises.
this movie, what?
Cruises.
Cruises, yeah, holy shit. And when this movie came out, I could just tell from the beginning that it was going to be horrible. One of my favorite things in the world is really terrible movies. Like we said before, movies that try to be good but just fail miserably.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of Catfish, the show. Do you guys ever watch Catfish? Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so this movie was directed by Maximum Joseph, right?
Who created Catfish?
Yeah,
Yeah.
who's one of Catfish. He's the
And this has like a little cameo from Neve in it as well.
And
does.
also Maximum Joseph is apparently in the party scene, but we didn't see him. Like with the drug scene, he's
Yeah, I
maybe in the
didn't see him.
background somewhere. We looked for him, but we didn't see him.
Okay.
Yeah, So I watched this movie, and it was everything I could have ever dreamed of. It's just beautiful trash. That's how I describe it. It's beautiful trash. And I was really amped on it, so I convinced Joey to watch the movie. Like, like we recommend movies to each other a lot of the times, but there's like some that you're like, you have to watch this immediately. Like, this is perfect. And he watched it and loved it for the same reasons that I did. And he's like, hey, what, Cage Club was ending, or just it ended or something?
So yeah, so what was it? I guess 2 years ago, another friend of mine who's been on Zack Attack, he's our resident Zack Attack historian, this guy Mike Manzi, he and I did Cage Club, and we did all of Nicolas Cage's movies. And so that we did, I don't know how we did it, but we did 3 a week, which it was literally 25 hours of work for me a week in terms of watching movies, talking about them, editing the podcast, doing all the, like, we wrote reviews for each one, and then posting everything online was 25 hours a week. And that ran from like August 2015 to January 2016.
And I don't have that kind of attention span at all.
But, so that ended, and we're like, what are we going to do next? And so we decided we're going to do Keanu Reeves. And then I had another friend who wanted to do a podcast. We're like, well, let's just launch them on the same day. And then I knew how much Joe loved We Are Your Friends, and also, to some extent, Zac Efron.
We had talked about this. Yeah, we were talking about it, and we were like, oh, this is so great. We're like, man, Zac Efron, this is like a really terrible movie. We like Neighbors, but like, we'd never seen any of his movies, and we're like talking about like, oh man, like we've never seen High School Musical, we've never seen any of these other ones. And like, as we're talking and like looking through the IMDb, we're like, huh.
And I was like, do you want to just do a podcast about Zac Efron where we watch one movie a month and talk about it? And Joe's just like, yep, down. And then we just did it.
I was like, that sounds like the gayest thing ever. And I was like, eh.
And so here we are, a year and a half later, having seen all of his movies, done 30 episodes now, and we're never going to be better than this.
No, we'll never be better.
I mean, I love the concept.
Well, thank you.
It's just perfect. Like, I love going through things in order. The only thing I would do differently personally is I'd have to do like chronological, starting at the earliest.
So
that's the problem. Yeah. That we couldn't do that because we were like, we can't sit through the beginning ones without a love of
Right,
Zeph.
I get you. Yeah.
Like, and we didn't have a serious love of Zeph at the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, this was just a fun idea. And we were like, oh, he seems kind of cool, whatever. But like, as we went backwards, and we're like, oh, we know some of these, and then we see like some of the kind of fringe ones, and then we get back to like the shit at the beginning, and we're like, okay, we can love it for the garbage that it is. So.
Will you be doing like episodes when new movies of his come out?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Always.
Awesome.
Yeah. Bonus episodes. Always. Yeah.
So with those, we usually do them when they come to Blu-ray and DVD or video on demand, because we like to take notes on them and sort of go through them. I mean, we're sort of less thorough about it now. We just sort of goof around more. But like, it's hard to take notes or remember things from theaters, especially since like we're not going to see it at the same time. But when we're able to, get it on demand and be like, okay, we're going to record this episode tomorrow and release it next Tuesday or whatever when the Blu-ray comes out, then we're able to sort of take notes on it and have a relatively fresh opinion of it. So, The Disaster Artist comes out this December, but when it comes on Blu-ray in like April or whenever it's going to be, like that's when the episode will come out.
And we've got The Greatest Showman as well, I think.
Yes.
In December time
The
as
Greatest
well.
Showman, which looks really good. The trailer for that came out too, right?
Yep. And we also have he's signed on to do that Ted Bundy movie, extremely vile, wicked, and whatever. So
yeah, that should be good.
So that's pretty much the story behind of how we picked We Are Your Friends. We know you had seen it. I think that if you like shitty movies, there's something for you in here. I think if you like beautiful women, there's something for you in here.
And also there was a little bit of a perverse satisfaction for us because we listened to the High School Musical episode that Liam sent us, and just hearing how miserable Jack was having to talk, not only watch those 3 movies, but then talk about them with Liam for another hour and a half or whatever. We're like, let's just make him watch another Zac Efron movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
But so Jack, I really want to just start with just hearing your thoughts on it. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like, as someone that doesn't love Zeph, I mean, obviously we have opinions about the movie, but like, give me what you're thinking. Like, I just want to hear the whole rundown.
Like, what
did you
does
like
a
it? Did you
normie
not like
think of
it?
this?
Did you?
Keep in mind that you're outnumbered 3-1, and here you are the weird. You're
I'm
but
totally
he's the weird
open-minded.
one here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so it's weird because you're saying, it's a bad about like people, if you love bad movies, you'll love this. I genuinely came out of this film and was like, I enjoyed that more than I
Good,
thought I would.
right?
Not because it's bad, I just thought it was an all right film.
Yeah, it's not bad. But if you delve into it and you like try to break down what actually happens and
Oh, definitely.
what the
Like,
conflict
I can
is,
see the flaws in it.
Yeah, it's just full of flaws, but it's also just beautiful people doing fun shit,
Yep.
and everything in their life goes great.
Which
So-
is my favorite genre of movie, like movies like this and like Nerve, where it's just like, oh, I just want to see young people who are attractive with a great soundtrack just having fun. Like that's all I want in a movie sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, and it is. Yeah, after I finished, I went and listened to the soundtrack again because I also like electronic music, but like not to an extent. Like
Yeah,
I like it a little
sure.
bit. I listen occasionally.
Cool.
And then after this, I was like, you know what? I just want to listen to some because
It's a damn good soundtrack, right?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the soundtrack. They did pull out a lot of DJs. There's a lot of DJ cameos in the movie, which I like, which I think is pretty funny. Dylan Francis apparently taught Zac Efron how to DJ for the movie and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's lots of cool trivia.
And we
cool
also,
tidbits.
we love the soundtrack so much that we use his song at the end, Cole's Memories, as our intro song on our podcast.
which is arguably the worst song of the soundtrack, but I mean the most.
But it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so terrible.
Also
All he has
nominated
is
for
one-
Zeffie for Best
I
Song.
noticed.
Yeah.
I mean,
he
it's
only
going to
has-
lose to a High School Musical song, isn't it?
What?
It's got to lose to a High School Musical song.
So that's
think
that
so.
might be the
I think it
toughest
will.
category of all of them because the Best Song
That's
category
a
is
stacked-ass
stacked.
category, dude.
Yeah.
Good. Can you read off what the options are? Joey, do you have it?
I know that there is Bet on It is in there from High School
Yeah.
Musical 2. I know that Miss Baltimore Crabs is in it from Hairspray.
Yep.
Cole's Memories from We Are Your Friends. Fabulous from High School Musical 2. Scream from High School Musical 3. Stang Life from Mike and Dave Need Wedding
Staying Life
Dates.
is a sleeper pick, dude. That's,
And then
yeah.
We're All in This Together from the first High School Musical movie.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
Jack,
that's-
what's your favourite song?
You've seen almost all those movies.
I might go Cole's Memory.
There you go.
Nice. Okay, so you liked the movie. We were pretty okay with it. That's good.
Yeah.
Now,
There's
Liam,
a lot of good actors in here. Like you got
well,
what's his name?
you said this again. So the most recent episode that we recorded is coming out on October 1st, and Joe and I watched this movie and did a live commentary over it. So it's meant to be heard while watching the movie.
It's like director's commentary.
And
Put it on.
Oh,
you
okay,
watch
that's
the
cool.
movie.
while doing that, you said the same thing you just said in that there's a lot of good actors in here, and there's not. There's not a lot of good actors in here.
There's a lot of actors that I like.
There's John Bernthal, who's a great actor,
Yes.
and then there's nobody else who can really act.
Right. But
Wes
John
Bentley.
Bernthal as well. He's a good actor, but as soon as you see him pop up, you're like, oh, okay, that character's evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a bad
you're
guy,
An evil
like,
banker.
that's a
You're an
villain.
evil banker every time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you have Wes Bentley, who I do like a lot.
Sure.
Like he plays like creepy aloof really, really well in a lot of movies. And then you have Zeph. And even though you don't know the kids, I think they're good at I like a Squirrel, R.I.P. Squirrel.
R.I.P. Squirrel.
Like,
Yeah.
like he's one of them.
Like he was.
Good.
I was gonna say he's like my favorite character in this film, and I think the actor did it really well. Like they set him up. That character is set up so well with the like, seems like he's just one of those kids who's like in the group and everyone takes the mick out of him, but then he genuinely gets some scenes that you're like, oh, like this squirrel character is like a deeper human being.
Yeah, he's like the
when they're
realest
sitting by
dude,
the sea.
right? He's like the only
Yeah,
real like non-shitty one in the whole group.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone else, I was like, I don't know why you're hanging out with these people. Because if I was hanging out with them and like they got me thrown out of a cool party because he beat the shit out of someone, I'd be like, dude, I don't want to hang out with you anymore.
Yeah.
But Squirrel, I was like, I'd hang out with Squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hate Bro Tato. He sucks. The bald one.
Yeah.
Yep.
The actor drug dealer one, like he's just too beautiful. He's like super LA. That like obviously he would just be doing whatever he wants. But like Squirrel, like I can relate, man.
Also, here's a little bit of
Yeah.
a teaser for our next episode of Zack Attack, the commentary. Joe sort of pitches me a fan fiction sequel to We Are Your Friends called We Are Still Your Friends.
love it.
And just like Sharpay's
Yeah.
Fabulous Adventure 2, the chapters are alternating in perspective between Zac Efron's Cole and Squirrel. So it goes
Oh,
back
that's
and forth.
amazing.
So
Spoiler alert. The idea is that Squirrel never died.
that he faked his death and left
Right,
the country.
okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Interesting.
That's my
I like it.
That's my fan
And
fiction
actually,
version.
like, I'm not just saying this, like, it kind of sort of makes sense in a weird way. and no matter what happens, I really, really desperately want to see this or read it. You know, I'm okay if Joe writes it, but either film it or write it, and I want to see it or read it.
I would really like to make like a cartoon version of it that just like goes like we do that thing like from Breaking Bad when Badger describes the Star Trek scene. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it just like somebody animates just my describing it and like changing shit and like it changes with the cartoon. Like that's what I want to see.
So we have Emily Ratajkowski, but she's not Emily Ratajkowski. She's actually Erica from Summerland. So we're just gonna replace her in that.
Yeah, I just replace her halfway through. I give her like an episode or chapter or two, and then I just switch her out, like as if she couldn't sign on for the second season, so, on purpose, just because I wanted to. I just want her there for a little bit. Yeah. Listen to just that part if you can.
So Liam,
I'm gonna listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, okay, good.
Liam, you'd seen We Are Your Friends before, right?
Yes, I watched it like a couple of years ago, maybe.
So is this your second time, or have you seen it more than once?
This is my second time watching it.
Okay.
So here's where we have some harsh words for you.
Okay, here we go. I'm waiting for
We
this.
saw on Letterboxd that you only gave it
But
3
now, after he gave every fucking movie a 3.5 that he's seen in the past 4 months.
I know.
That we've just heard before that.
But
okay, go ahead.
you gave We Are Your Friends 3 out of 5, and I just want to know what was going wrong that you misclicked 5 out of 5.
Was your
Here's
wrist
the thing,
broken
right?
or something?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Zac Efron is just brilliant in this movie.
Of course.
We've got to agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as someone that isn't really a fan of EDM, I still enjoyed this movie and the way they like portrayed it.
Okay.
But I felt like it didn't do anything that surprised me particularly. Like it felt like
dying?
Yeah, no, even that. The way they set it up, right? You have this little heart to heart, and as soon as you have that heart to heart, where they're in the like diner and he's recording him, it's like, oh, cool.
He's spinning the quarter.
Yeah. You're like, you've just signed your death warrant there. So yeah, and then the whole like the love triangle was just so obvious. Like, it felt like this movie was a mishmash of other like plot lines that I've seen before.
Counterpoint.
This was my favorite part of the movie.
Counterpoint.
This is why I love
this
it.
is all perfectly combined to form a perfect movie.
I mean, that could be one way of reading it, but for me, I was just like, oh, I've seen this. The only difference is I get to see Zac Efron do this.
Yeah, that's why I like it. I have it on the background right now. I'm watching Wes Bentley UFC. Zac Efron in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at that scene, and yeah, it's definitely nothing original. There's not one original thought in this entire movie.
Exactly.
But did you expect anything else from Maximum Joseph? Like,
well, I didn't really know what to expect, to be fair, because I've only seen him do the catfish stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, if you'd have turned around to me and said, "Oh, what do you think Max Joseph is going to do?" I probably wouldn't have said a movie about EDM.
I like to describe this movie as like 4 fat old white dudes at a movie studio.
Yep.
Just trying to write a movie about what they think DJ EDM culture is.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which in a way is a lot
wrong.
like every high school movie where it's 4 fat old white guys. Like, how do kids talk?
Yes.
Some of them,
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are a little bit more real, but like the indie ones, like kind of work out. But yes, it's a lot of like, how do kids talk? Like, what are these drugs that they're going to do? Like PCP? Why did they pick PCP? Who's doing PCP at all anymore?
That whole scene, while it is like a decent scene, it does stick out of the movie a lot. Like the animated stuff.
Oh, I love that though. I genuinely love
it.
it.
Great,
really like
but it
that
is
scene.
just real like left field. Like
Yeah,
it's
it feels
just
smashed.
awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't super fit the rest of the film, but it is a really well done scene.
No, I think like my favourite scene is the one where he's explaining like the heart rate and the music and all that sort of stuff.
You like that montage with Emily Ratajkowski just like dancing, like she's doing the European girl sway in the background.
Yeah.
And just like I like what she's wearing in that scene.
Yeah, we go deep into how that's physically possible on the commentary.
We actually had to ask Rachel if that exists in real life, and she said do you know how it happens? Do you know what happens?
No, I don't.
It's tape.
Very
apparently.
very carefully,
Oh.
specifically applied tape.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had no idea. Rachel had to tell us it's just tape.
Can we just talk about Emily Ratajkowski? How do
Sure.
you say her name?
Yeah, that's how you say it.
Great body,
Yeah.
Yeah. Say
but
it.
like I mean, I don't want to be mean on the podcast.
Say it.
Well, so
I
I'm
don't
good.
wanna,
So,
like, pick
so
on
while
anyone.
you're thinking about how to say that, I will sort of paraphrase your Letterboxd review, saying
Here we
she
go.
did a pretty good job in this movie.
Yeah, like her acting wasn't terrible that I was kind of expecting it to be. Because I kind of felt like they cast her for her looks and that was it.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
But
They didn't cast her for her acting, that's for sure.
Yeah, the acting was, okay. Do you not think?
I think she's fine.
Yeah.
I also don't think it matters.
No. I mean, the important thing is she has good chemistry with Zach, but, I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah. Two beautiful people in one room. I mean, what are you going to do?
So actually, I have a question mostly for Liam, but for both of you.
What were you going to say? Were you going to say she has a weird face?
There's something not quite right with it.
It's the lips, man. The lips freak me out too.
Yes.
They're like way too pouty. Like she needs to stop doing lip injections. I absolutely agree. If that's what you're thinking, that's what I think. Every time I look at her, I can't get over like her upper lip is like so turned up. It like looks like she can't talk.
It's like she's done that trick where she's like sucked on a glass or whatever.
Yep.
Like yeah.
Yeah, the Kylie Jenner challenge or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Yep, exactly.
So a question for you guys. Yeah, a question for you guys that we got in our mailbag on the last episode is that if you could cast yourself in the Zac Efron role in any one of his movies, which would it be?
Oh, that's easy for me because I feel like the only two roles that I've properly noticed Zac Efron being are We Are Your Friends or High School Musical.
Neighbors.
So I guess We Are Your Friends.
Okay.
But I thought you don't want to go in High School Musical and hang out with your high school crush Kelsey?
Yeah.
Oh no, that is shit.
You forgot about Kelsey, didn't you, Jack?
Well, do I have to if I'm in the role, do I have to follow the role?
Well, you have to follow the role, but you're also when the camera's
movie,
not
you're like
rolling.
On the set,
yeah.
You're on the set.
Oh, okay, I've got you. Yeah, no, that could work. Yeah, it's High School Musical then, isn't it?
Because
yep.
we were talking about this, and we were like,
Tisdale.
We Are Your Friends seems like it would be miserable because I feel like Emily Ratajkowski would just be on her phone the entire time and not talking to you. And Wes Bentley would be off doing cocaine somewhere, and you just be there, like it'd just be miserable.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I mean,
look
so
like
the
a
way
fun
I'm
set
looking,
or a fun movie, right? It doesn't seem like they were actually having any fun.
No, yeah, I can see that now.
Like, the way I'm looking at this question is basically, if I was Zac Efron in this movie, who would I get to meet by doing this?
Yep. You took the exact Joey approach to
this.
I
did the who would I get to make out with approach.
Yeah, so my first instinct went to Mia Orson Welles because I love Zoe Kazan.
Oh, okay.
But then I thought a bit harder, and then I went to that awkward moment because Imogen Poots, that would be a good time.
So Liam and I have the exact same taste in girls, apparently.
Yeah.
Yes,
then I kept thinking, and I went to Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates because not only did you get like Anna Kendrick, but also Aubrey Plaza.
That was my choice.
Then I landed on the answer, and it's Baywatch just because I get to hang out with The Rock.
Oh, we didn't even pick that. We didn't even pick that. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
getting to hang out with The Rock would be cool.
Yeah, and you also get to hang out with Alexandra Daddario and Kelly Warbeck, which would be a good time. And they're wearing bikinis like the whole shoot.
That's true.
Counterpoint to all that, right?
Yeah, here we go.
If they're casting you in that role, you get to hang out with The Rock, but then The Rock is furious at you because that film would be shit if you were playing that role.
Yeah, I'd have to play like the chubby guy that gets his dick stuck in a chair.
All right.
That would be a bad
you'd be
role.
playing the Zac Efron role.
So
I know.
So you wouldn't. And then it would be ruined.
I was trying to not imagine that it was me. I was imagining that I was Zeph.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's how I was
totally
thinking.
Ruined this for me, Jack.
You know, another
Oh,
option.
sorry, guys.
Another option for you, Liam, that is really high on my list was this the movie you picked? I don't remember, Joe. Is Dirty Grandpa, because Aubrey Plaza's in that, but also another girl that I have a really big crush on that you probably do too, if this track's right, is Zoe Dutch.
Yes,
and she's beautiful in that movie. And then also you get to hang out with Robert De Niro on set.
That would be cool. But
I just want to see Aubrey Plaza do the like fake slutty thing so bad.
That would be good, but he's like so naked in that movie for at least one of the scenes.
Oh yeah, the beer bottle scene. Yeah,
waking
on the beach.
Waking up, having a scene that you were like, I was in a scene with Robert De Niro putting his dick on my face.
Yep.
That's just perfect. You know what I mean? Like you can't get any better than that. Like as an actor. Like,
but okay, how about being in drag next to The Rock? Like, that's got to be fun.
That's gonna be fun. Having Nicole Kidman pee on you is, I think, pinnacle of anything that you can do. As
very
Zeph.
true.
Like having Nicole Kidman possibly actually have peed on you.
Yeah.
That's like I would just retire from acting at that point. Like you can't get any better than this.
We're never gonna be better than this.
Yeah.
Joe, what was your? I don't even remember what you said. Was it Dirty Grandpa?
No, I went with Neighbors because I want to hang out with Seth Rogen.
That's right.
And Franco. I think that would have been the most fun set to be on. I think that it would have been the rowdiest. and like the most exciting, and like I think that they're the most like friendly of the crew of like movies. So, and I think that James Franco would have showed up at some point, you know what I mean, to like
Sure.
smoke weed and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think,
Oh, definitely.
yeah, that would have been like the best time. So that's what I would have chosen, just based on like how much fun it would have been outside and around the movie.
So we got a High School Musical, a Baywatch, a Neighbors, and a Mike and Dave. That's a pretty good mix.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Do we have any more thoughts on We Are Your Friends? Because I'm aware that Jack has timed this terribly and has to go soon, and I want to play our little game before we finish.
No, I don't think so. We also, when we did the commentary, we barely talked about the movie. We just talked about trivia and stuff like that. So we kind of ran out of things to talk about last week too. So
I appreciate
Yeah, I
you
mean, there's
guys
not a
watching
lot to
it.
say.
yeah,
I
thank you for
appreciate
watching
Jack
it.
watching it.
Thank you, Jack.
I'm glad that you.
Oh, yeah, but-
you enjoyed it. I've seen this movie now like 20 times.
That's too many.
It's just such. It's one of these movies you could put on in the background and like you don't have to pay attention to. So
Yeah.
that's what. And like you just like look up like Emily Ratajkowski is just naked and her tits are hanging out, and like
Yeah.
so it's good. It's good to just like put on and let your brain drift off. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I can see that. After watching it and paying full attention,
Yeah.
I could see putting it on in the future and being like, oh, I'll have that on in the background while I'm doing some work or whatever.
Well, it
Yeah.
is like a real easy watch.
Yeah,
And it is like a
Super-
real like pretty looking movie. Like,
and
the
it's
way
short
been shot.
too.
Yeah.
It kind of has some Harmony Korine type coloring to it, doesn't it? A little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Joey, do you get this?
Yeah, the saturated sort of LA look.
Yeah.
We had an email from Kat, who
Okay.
I made watch this film with me.
Okay.
She said, my thoughts on We Are Your Friends in summary. It's pretty average, so not a lot to say about it. Zac Efron looks dreamy in it. Squirrel deserved better.
So it sounds like she gave it a
Amen.
5 out of 5.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Solid 5 out of 5.
Solid
makes
5 out of
sense.
5.
What have you guys all given it out of 5? For me, it's going to be a 3 out of 5 still. I'm sorry, but it's just average.
Oh, it's a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. It's like I
It's a
have
fi- it's a
some
5 out of
rules in
7.
my house.
5 out of
I have
7.
some rules
Okay.
in my house. We drink a lot of beers. We use the app Untapped. Do you know about this?
I've heard of it.
No.
Yeah.
There's like a beer rating app. It keeps track of all the beers you drank. I have very few rules in my house. Rules are if you see it, you can have it. If you spill the drugs, you do them. And Bud Light always gets a 5.
Yep.
So that's kind of what I'm feeling like here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if something's so bad it's perfect, then you just have to give it a 5.
But it's
I
a
give
5
it
out of 7, right, Joe?
5 out of 7. It's a perfect movie. Yeah.
Makes sense. So inspired by the fact that you guys play games and like that was the
Oh,
most.
okay, Liam. I won't rate the fucking film then.
I mean, I'll be honest, Jack. I didn't care.
Well, we
but
already
go
know
on,
that.
go for
We already
it.
know that Jack's gonna give it a 5 out of 5. A surprise 5 out of 5.
Exactly.
Oh, I was gonna give it a 4,
Oh,
but okay.
all right.
A 4 is actually pretty
It's not
honest.
the
I
perfect
like it.
film.
Okay.
That's higher than I was expecting,
good.
to be honest, Jack. What?
Sorry, Liam, what was
I
that?
said that was higher than I was expecting you to give it.
Me too.
Well,
Same.
What did you think of the Sophie character?
she's good.
She's hot.
Great.
She's
See,
hot.
and that's why people tune
I get
into Nerd on
why
Nerd for this, like-
Cole wanted to get with her.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird that she was dating James Reed because
Yeah.
she didn't like she seems invested in that relationship, and I can't imagine he's been like it didn't feel like his character had recently turned to drink.
But they blurred that like relationship and then her being his
Are you
assistant.
saying like
that's
they
gonna
blurred the
complicate
lines? Blurred lines?
things. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Which is when we all fell in love with Emily Ratajkowski.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yep.
So yeah, inspired by your guys playing games at the end of your show, and that was like so much fun when I guested on.
Oh,
We've come up with a shit couple of games to play.
Yep.
You can steal ours. Just import our. I mean, if you like them, you could take them.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I couldn't do them justice is the problem.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, we appreciate that.
So we came up with name one movie that would be absolutely ruined if you put Zac Efron in the main role, and what one movie like would you make absolutely brilliant if you put Zac Efron in the main role. Now, obviously, the obvious answer to that is every single movie would be better if you put Zac Efron in the main role.
Obviously.
So the game is to basically find what's the movie that you can improve the most, and what's the game that you can ruin them. What's the film you can ruin the most?
I don't know why my brain went here, but the first movie that I thought of, I want him in Al Pacino's role in The Godfather.
Fuck.
Okay.
You're serious? That makes it better or worse?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because can I piggyback off this real quick?
Sure.
Go ahead. Okay, because I was thinking the worst possible Zeph replacement role ever would be Al Pacino in Scarface. and that's the and that would just totally destroy the entire movie.
All right,
like
so-
I can't imagine him doing any of it.
So new game is which Al Pacino movie would you replace Zac Efron with?
No. I can't think. I had a better one this morning. Go ahead, keep going, and I'm gonna think of my better one.
I can't think of a better one because I'm just like all of them. But I've got a worse. Like the movie that would be most ruined, I think, if you had Zac Efron in the main role. I think it would just piss off all of the people and their reasons for liking this movie. Now, personally, I think it would make the movie better, but I think everyone that actually likes this movie would hate it, and that's Wonder Woman.
Oh.
Yeah.
In the
very
Wonder
good,
Woman
Liam.
role or in the Chris Pine?
Yeah, no, in the Wonder Woman role.
Okay.
Because
As
all of the
drag,
people that
in
like
drag?
that, yeah,
Nice.
exactly. Because all the people that like
Yeah,
that like
you
it.
piss off the feminist crowd.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good, Liam. That is a good shout.
But I
Yeah,
would
that's a
fucking
really
love it.
good one. Oh god, that's so funny.
Trying to
Like you ghost in the shell it, you just make Wonder Woman a man. That's so amazing. I love it. That was a really good one. Thank you.
I've actually gone, Liam, for a similar sort of strategy as you,
Okay.
because I would replace the lead character in Blue is the Warmest Colour, and I would also piss everyone off.
Yeah.
So it would stop becoming a lesbian film and just be like
Exactly.
straight up.
No. It would still be a lesbian film, Liam.
Right.
They would never address the fact that it's Zac Efron, but it would piss everyone off watching it.
Okay, got you.
You know what I really genuinely want to see him in? I want to see him as Robin in a Batman movie.
Ooh, that's good.
That
Oh,
would be good.
that works, yeah.
Wow. That's really good. Yeah.
Something
As
that
long
I
as Seth Rogen is Batman.
And Batman smokes weed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that would be the perfect
So,
one.
like, I think what's difficult about this game is that the reason we kind of did Zack Attack and what we sort of learned while doing it, like a lot of the other podcasts we've done, is that he's a lot more talented than people give him credit for.
Yes, definitely.
I think that he is in a lot of bad movies, and that one thing we talked about recently is that I'm really looking forward to the next 5 or 10 years, because I think he can't keep being the frat guy party boy.
Yeah.
High schooler, like just out of high school type
And
character.
I think that movies
Yeah.
like the Ted Bundy movie are going to sort of open him up to other things. Like,
And he can sing and dance. We know he can sing
Right.
and dance. So he has like a lot of possibilities here.
I do
of
think
where
that,
he
like,
could
sort
go.
of, he's kind of like Brad Pitt in that he's too handsome to not be the star, but, like, you kind of want him just, like, in
Yeah.
a really cool small role and just let him be, like, shine in that way.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. I think I have a movie that I think would be that I would like to see him in and he would be a good character in and make the movie better, even though I really love the movie to begin with. And I think it would be Cruel Intentions.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he would be like the main like seductor kid, Sebastian, in Cruel Intentions. I think it would work. He's not like blondish, but like seeing him kind of be like kind of more brooding, but also still like a love interest. I think that would be pretty good.
Yeah, that would be.
And fall in love with
Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon and totally like change his whole outlook and like that's what I imagine would be a better choice.
Yeah, like I'm really struggling with the better.
I had another one. I know what my original one was now that I thought about it. It
Okay.
was Ferris Bueller. I want to see him be Ferris.
Yeah, I think he could.
Okay.
Because he can sing and dance, and he's like more attractive than Matthew Broderick, and he could
Yeah.
play the like goofy fun role and be Ferris Bueller. So that's what it was this morning. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
That works. Kat came up with a really good idea earlier where she'd like to see him play the main role in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, the Tim Curry role. Okay.
Yeah, which, like you said, he can sing and dance, so that would just be a fun time, I think.
Sure. And,
Yeah,
and we've
for
seen
sure.
him.
I get it.
He looks good in a dress. So I mean, like, he could definitely pull off Dr.
Yeah.
Frankenfooter.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling to come up with a movie where he would make the movie worse. And I don't mean that like just like, oh, we're so in love with him, but like it's tough to find like without it being like, obviously I don't think he'd do a better job than Al Pacino in The Godfather, but like it's tough to come up with like a recent movie that like I don't think he could do at least a decent job in.
What if he was like Quasimodo in a live action version of the Hunchback of Notre Dame?
I'd watch it.
Yeah, I'd watch that. I mean, it might not be good.
Yeah, I think that he would do a pretty shit job in that, but yeah.
Okay, I have one for better, but I don't know if it would actually play out better.
Okay.
But have him in Twilight.
Yes, for sure.
Oh.
He could easily replace the wolf dude.
Taylor
whoever that
Lautner?
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
Taylor Lautner.
Or
He could,
Kristen Stewart, he could replace her.
You know what I really think is interesting about the Twilight movies is that, like, since that series ended, and I've only seen the last two because How Did This Get Made did them, that Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart have both gone on to do really good indie movies. Like, they've been really good in things. And Taylor Lautner has done nothing. Like, he was fun on Scream Queens, but he's not, like, I just don't think he's a good actor. Like, he's just, I'm still waiting for him. Maybe we should do a Taylor Lautner podcast, Joe.
No. Did anybody see on like a related note, did anybody see the video that was going around that's just Robert Pattinson talking, just shitting on Twilight in all these interviews, like even while it was out? Yeah, it was so funny. He hated it so much. And they're like, what did you think about the book? And he's like, I almost read it, like, and stuff like that. Like, all of his answers were just, like, about how terrible the movie was. And they're like, what do you think about your character? And he's like, it sucks pretty bad, like... And he would just, like, would give, like, these really honest, like, shitty answers about, like... Yeah, it was great. If you can find the YouTube clip where somebody put all of them together, it's definitely worth the 3-minute watch, so...
Yeah. One other for making worse, if he played Kevin Spacey's character in Seven, I don't think Zac Efron could do that.
What about him in Usual Suspects?
Same.
I'd like to watch that though.
I also just thought of him in the Bruce Willis role in Die Hard. I feel like when you have a movie that sort of is like, when you think of an actor and you think of that one role, I feel like that's really difficult to sort of replace that character. And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it'd be like saying like, oh yeah, if he played the Terminator or something.
Yeah, I get it. The Rock's role in Baywatch, just replace him with somebody that's huge. That's not. Yeah, I get it.
Did you have any more, Jack?
I've been sitting here trying to think of one that like would either make it better or ruin it. I was thinking for better, it's not even out yet, so I think it's cheating, really.
Okay.
But do you reckon Zac Efron as young Han Solo?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I don't know. I feel like I guess the film's going to be the guy a bit younger. I don't know. I've not been paying attention, but I don't know. I think Zac Efron could be a young Han Solo.
I was trying to put him in Star Wars too. I agree with you for sure.
Yeah.
So the young Han Solo, I know that kid. He was in Hail Caesar, and we've talked about this on our show. I really want either the Coen brothers or Quentin Tarantino to put him in one of their movies, not as the star, but as like a sort of a secondary or third character, just like, because I think that they could really sort of get something new out of him.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I can't believe we didn't name any of the like superhero movies. Like, wouldn't he be a good Spider-Man? I think a Spider-Man would be good.
I think he's a little bit too old for that now, though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, right
in
age,
his
right
younger
time.
days. Yeah. I was thinking like potentially like Hawkeye he could replace.
Hawkeye? Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I get it.
Because I feel like Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man.
Yep.
Like,
yes,
you couldn't
for sure.
replace them.
Agreed.
And I have no issues with like Chris Evans or Chris Hemsworth like doing those roles.
Agreed.
So it kind of does just leave like the kind of almost like the B characters.
Yeah, the fringe ones.
Well, what about him as Black Widow?
Yep, I'd watch that. Skin tight leather.
I do think that most things, I mean, like, whether they be funny or genuinely better, I'd like him in things.
Yeah, I mean, the other one that I think would make better is if you put like another Zac Efron in High School Musical as Gabriella.
Why don't we just replace the whole cast of High School Musical with just Zac Efron's? And it's just like the Nutty Professor. He just plays every character.
Why not?
Yeah, I think that's
except keep Ashley Tisdale in there.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. I like it.
Well, I think that's this podcast petering out.
That works for me. I think that was a great note to end it on. It's just Zac Efron playing every character in High School Musical,
or in every movie.
In every movie.
That feels like with you three on this show, I feel like that's where it had to end.
Yeah.
With
It's
Zac
like
Efron starring as every character in a
It's like
film.
being John Malkovich, but being Zac Efron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's a good replacement too. Okay.
Well, thank you for joining us to talk about Zac Efron.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having
cheers,
us,
guys.
dude. I had a blast. I had a blast when you were on Zac Attack. I hope that Jack comes to join for one of our new podcasts and you come back.
Definitely.
You guys are a lot of fun.
I hope you guys both vote for the Zeffies.
Yes.
Oh, I will be.
I hope that
definitely will be.
you're
I'm worried that I haven't seen enough
Doesn't
So my
matter.
vote
Doesn't
will be
matter.
wasted.
Doesn't matter.
Jack,
Okay, I'll vote.
how
then.
long are the Zephyrs open for?
They are going to be. You can vote on them until about October 22nd.
So you've got like a month, Jack, to swat up on Zac Efron movies.
You know what?
There's
And Jack,
only-
like we told everybody else on our podcast, you can stuff the ballot box.
Yeah.
So fucking rig them, man. You could like. There's only what? There's our last count was 17
Let me
votes
see what
so
they are.
far.
Let me see what we're up to now. Because we just want to have a high number of votes. We don't care if they're, we're not.
If they're
voter
you
fraud.
just fucking up the whole voting system, just piss Liam off and pick all the ones you know he doesn't want to win.
Yeah,
That's true.
you could
You
do
know?
that.
That does sound good.
Yeah.
I'll be so sad.
So these.
Yeah, just make High School Musical lose everything, and then
Yep.
we'd have to laugh at him about him liking it so much.
we have
and how
18
it
responses right now.
18 responses. Okay, it's been open for what, like a day or two?
Like a little over a day, like a day and a half.
Yeah.
I did see. So Amanda, who's been on the podcast before, did tweet me to say that she voted in those for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. She's
Wow.
like, I knew you wanted me to. Yeah. She tweeted me saying, "I voted in this just for you, Liam."
That's awesome.
I love it.
That's awesome.
So I hope that
Yeah,
you guys
so-
vote. I hope that Kat votes. I hope that, any listeners vote. It's cageclub.me/Zephies. Zeffies.
Awesome. And where can people find you on like social medias and stuff?
You can find me. I'm at Soul Popped on Twitter. You can also find everything that we do Zac Efron related at cageclub.me. And you can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/cageclub, and at cageclubpod on Twitter. We have a whole sort of network of podcasts, only a few of which I'm on. We probably have about 8 or 9 shows, and so they're all there. You can subscribe to all of them on iTunes and Google Play and Stitcher. So both the ones that exist now and the ones that we're launching, later this year and next year, all sorts of lots of things, all sort of movie and nostalgia related.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Jack,
Well, yeah,
what are we doing next
Hey.
time?
we're doing a graphic novel that was recommended to us by Amanda called Blankets.
You're really excited about this one, aren't you?
Is this the one that I don't want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Did you notice how
Yeah.
I kind of waited until we'd started recording, and I was like, "Oh, by the way, we haven't figured this out," and I just like real casually just slipped in. We could do blankets, and you were just so
you
like
rigged it.
flustered that you just agreed to it.
Yeah.
So
That works.
yeah, I mean, whatever it takes to get my own way.
No, it's only fair. We did Amanda's recommendation that I would like.
Yeah.
So now we're doing the one that she knows you'll like.
Exactly. I'm excited.
It's gonna be good.
Where can people find us?
Liam, how do people get in contact with
I
us?
just asked you that.
I just said it.
Right, they can tweet us at Nerd on Nerd. They can Facebook us at something, I don't know.
Nerd on Nerd Pod, all one word.
They could email us, nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com.
Yep.
Or why not leave a review on iTunes, because that's going to help us get up the charts, and then more people will see us, more people will listen to us, and more people will love us, and wouldn't that just be lovely?
I'm gonna leave.
would.
I'm gonna leave a review of 3.5 of 5.
Am I missing anything?
I don't think so. YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, fucking YouTube.
It's in a bit of a weird place at the moment.
We're working on it. Jack's going to come and visit me, and we're going to sort this shit out.
Yep.
Any final thoughts?
I'm going to vote in the Zephies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.